Did you say Ted or Tit Talk?
Well, they're both, really.
Yeah, both.
My Teddy Tit Talk.
Hey,
Teddy Tit Tit Teddy Tit.
I subscribe to that.
Yes. It's me just talking about the mechanics of boobs.
I'm fine with that.
Right?
Yeah. Like, when you love something, you gotta know the ins and outs of it. What, you don't like that ass pun, Travis?
What are we actually talking about today?
We're talking about titties. Everybody strap on in.
All right.
How'd you like my
I like it.
seatbelt pun
I
there?
liked it. No, that wasn't where I was
That was
going
a
with
boob
it, but
pun.
hey.
That was a boob pun.
Was it?
It was a bra pun, really.
Strap on in.
Strap in your titties.
Oh, okay.
Okay, question. Favorite word for boobs?
Boobs is a pretty good contender.
Well, there's breasts, which is one that I always, my mind goes to, but it never comes out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And then there's titties, and then there's boobs. And then some assholes call them boobies, and they are...
Yeah, it's not a fun word. Well, that's not a good word. Yeah,
Because it sounds like, first of all, a boobie is a bird, right?
yeah, the blue-footed booby.
Yes, which is adorable, and I love that. But,
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
One strong contender for a bad name is Baps. Baps.
That's a good one.
Yeah, she's got huge Baps. Learn
Who has said that?
Learn that. From
Danny
Game Grumps.
Sexbang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny Sexbang
Yeah.
from Game Grumps.
Oh, okay, well...
He's from the 80s.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Is that
Yeah.
a thing that people said in the 80s?
Yeah.
Apparently.
That's a well, much older than the 80s.
Was anybody
Yeah.
having sex outside of cocaine at that time?
No.
I feel like the answer is
No.
no.
He was.
No, Danny Sexbang is just a huge nerd. Specifically, like a metal nerd.
He's from Ninja Sex Party, right?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
guy. Well, I'm explaining to but the listeners mainly, but he loves to be ironically weird, which is why I love the man so fucking much.
He's a Ninja Sex Party is a really good band. You guys should check it out. They have an excellent cover album.
Oh, they have two
They have
excellent.
two now.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
They just released their second one.
I love their 80s cover album.
Yeah, it's good. All their covers are like 80s covers.
Yeah.
It's really fucking good.
He's got a good voice for it.
I think they did a cover of Africa by
Yes.
Toto.
They did.
Africa is by Toto is a great song.
It's also a meme at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I miss those rains down in Africa.
Wait a minute.
Are we?
What are the words to that song?
Yeah.
I miss the rains down in Africa.
Yeah.
I thought it was I bless the rains down in Africa.
No, it's miss. I
Yeah,
miss the
I
rains.
miss
down in-
the rains.
Yeah, I miss the
Wait,
rains.
why does he miss the rains?
Okay, Google.
Because
Africa by Toto.
he went to Africa and it was raining and he was like, "This is great."
I'm not sure.
Google doesn't know what Africa by Toto is.
Thanks, Google. You're just as helpful as
She only
Hey!
heard Africa.
Google is a lady.
Yeah.
You said it wasn't a lady earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other ones like Siri is a female name.
Yeah.
Okay, context. I brought up the fact that I think it's kind of fucked up that all the robot AI ladies are ladies by default.
Yeah.
Right? Siri, Alexa, Google. Another one.
Google is genderless.
The name Google is genderless, but that is a very feminine sounding voice. She is coded female.
Let's see.
Just
here.
because someone has a feminine
Alright.
sounding voice doesn't mean that they're not genderless, Ari.
Yeah, but that's...
I've got two options here. I got voice one, which is
Hi, I'm your Google Assistant, here to help you throughout your day.
and then I've got voice two, which is
Hi, I'm your Google Assistant, here to help you throughout your day.
they don't have a name assigned to them or anything. That being said, they're just male and female.
I
Sound.
really wish that the Microsoft phones, like the Windows phones,
Yes.
would have their own thing, and it would be the Microsoft Sam voice.
See, okay.
That would be awesome.
I wish it was
well-
the paperclip.
Half of that thing already exists. It's Oracle.
Oh yeah.
And
That's right.
it's just a lady.
Well, yeah. They
Well,
also have,
Oracle is a woman.
Yeah.
They have Cortana.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did I get Oracle from?
Yeah, I
You
don't
got
know.
it from Batman.
Yeah. Hey.
Probably.
If I could have what's her name?
Well, yeah, like in Halo, Cortana is
Yeah.
a female AI helper person.
Also
Look,
in
all
the
I'm
lady
saying
her.
is I think it's a little.
Well, what about
It's a little messed up.
You want me to change it to voice number 2 for you?
I mean, no, live your life, follow your
I'm-
dreams. I'm just saying. It's a bit like her.
It is. I also don't use it very much. I mean, like I'll ask her, like, be like, "Hey, okay, Google, what time is it?" And she'll tell me what time it is,
Oh, good job. Okay, Google.
or the weather. Or I'll use her to set alarms.
Hey Siri, you know how there's like a clock right on your front, and I can just look at that anytime.
Stop.
But I'm just curious because I want you to tell me. I want to hear it in your pleasing female Siri voice. What time is it?
God damn it,
I know.
Travis.
Siri knows.
That's your one.
That's my one.
That's the one that we said. We said at the beginning of the podcast that we'd let you play out one.
Oh, that was a bad
No,
one.
that was 2.
Was it 2?
That was 2.
I didn't know if I had done one or any.
No. I'm not saying that we gave you 2. I'm saying that's
that
the second
counts
time.
for 2.
Yeah, because it was so bad.
Dang it.
But yeah.
Are we putting all this in?
Yes.
I feel
Yeah.
like we've been so low energy. We're all very sleepy from eating all this pasta.
You made
Okay.
some.
Hold on. I'll get you guys back up.
All right.
Get your dead ass up, everybody. Get your dead ass up. Hey, you. What are you doing with your dead ass? You're getting it up. That's right. And you over there. Wake up,
Yeah.
dead ass.
Oh my God.
My dead ass is erect.
Thank
right.
you.
If you're listening to this and you were falling asleep, I hope you're awake now.
Yeah. Get ready.
I'm gonna take that clip
Yeah.
and I'm gonna send it out to any listener who wants it. Just tweet at us, email us something. I will give you this audio clip in case you want Ari telling you to get your dead ass up for your alarms.
For $1.
I would
I'm
be
kidding.
honored to help wake somebody up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want that in your life, if you want to make that happen,
Message Travis
Just-
at Actually Tall.
yeah, or just tweet us at Habcast or something, and I will send you that thing.
Yeah.
Also, welcome to Hey Assbutt.
Yeah.
Welcome to Hey Assbutt.
You heard us talk about titties,
Yeah. Titties,
And then,
ass.
you know-
Comics.
sexism.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I never gave you the best or my favorite word for boobs.
Oh yeah, what's your favorite word for boobs?
It's not boobs.
What is it?
It's dirty pillows.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
It's just
Oh my
Okay,
It's a
first
word-
of
it's a
all,
word I
Mom
don't-
from Carrie, please stop abusing your daughter. Second of all,
it's just like whenever I think of like words for boobs, that's the one I think of because it reminds me of the scene from Austin Powers. I never use it in a sexual context. It's a fun thing that makes
that's
me laugh.
good for everyone.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I'm,
it's
I'm
like-
glad that you're happy.
In a sexual context, I just use tits.
I'm not glad that you're happy.
Yeah.
I've heard them described as fun bags, and I think that's also pretty bad. Fun
Yeah.
bags.
I feel like you've never heard fun bags before.
No, I've heard
okay.
fun bags. It's like what you get against fun and bags.
I just don't think bags are particularly fun.
Yeah.
Have you met a cat? They love bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a cat though.
Ducky, get in a bag right now. Show Ari how great bags
Yeah.
are.
This
She's
is
not
the sound
interested.
of Ducky getting
Yeah,
in a bag. Yeah. So all right. So what do you like?
She's
prefer
up in her cat
breasts
tower
to be
angrily
called?
looking down at us.
Breastises.
Boobs,
That's a good one.
titties.
That's a good one.
End of list.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah.
That's
So
what I refer
boobs,
to them as.
boobs and titties, but not boobies or tits.
Well, those are both birds.
Those are
so-
birds. Yeah, birds are awesome. Ben dropped his microphone.
That made my microphone fall.
Let's talk about birds. What's your favorite bird?
I have no favorite bird.
You know what my favorite
Birds are my mortal enemy.
Yeah,
God.
You know what my favorite bird is?
What?
A dead one.
Yes.
You two.
Ben and I
Actually-
are over here.
Oh,
You pulled back on me.
I didn't.
There we go. There we go.
Ow.
Uh,
Oh, my wrist. All right.
all right. The only good birds:
Ones I can eat.
Articuno,
God
Maltese,
damn it.
and Zapdos.
Ah.
That's it. Those are the only good birds.
All right.
You know why?
well, I'm
Because they're
gonna-
not real.
I'm not gonna give you guys my answer because you obviously don't care.
Yeah.
I also do
If
like.
you want to discuss birds, tweet me at Actually Tall, and I'll have a lovely discussion about birds with
What's-
someone who
what's
actually
your favorite
cares.
bird,
I'm not going
Travis?
to tell you guys.
What's your favorite
The
bird?
listeners get to know. You guys don't.
gonna
Because
guess-
you don't care about birds
Is
enough.
it an eagle?
Don't.
Actually,
No.
Can I
Ooh,
tell you?
let's guess Travis's favorite bird.
Is it a buzzard?
No.
Okay, vulture. Those
No.
are the same as buzzards. Penguins.
No.
It's a good one.
Sparrows.
Ooh.
Those are all right.
Swallows.
Those I like those.
Cardinals.
Yeah, those are cool.
Blue jays.
Bluebird.
Bluebirds, yeah.
Pigeons.
Pigeons are okay.
Seagull.
Nah.
Hummingbird.
Hummingbirds are neat.
Now we're just listing birds.
Yeah. All right, let's just list birds for 45 minutes and then cut to the show.
Hornbills.
Oh my god, no.
Is it
What
the-
about the ones with the big
No.
Pelican.
pelicans?
No.
Yeah.
Pelicans are
Flamingos.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Pelicans will swallow other birds.
Yeah.
Hot.
Yeah.
Flamingos.
No.
Dinosaurs are
That's-
technically
Oh
related
my
to
god.
birds.
No.
Cuckoos.
Chickens.
No.
Kookaburras.
Kookaburras are pretty cool.
Are they birds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cockatoo.
Well, I've learned something today.
Cockatoos are
Cockatiels.
nice. Cockatiels are nice.
Parrots.
There are a bazillion different kinds of parrots.
We're not
Large
going through.
African gay gray parrots.
No.
Large African gay parrots.
Emus.
Just kidding. That's all parrots.
Emus and ostriches.
Oh my god.
Oh, emus are so mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emus are terrifying.
They're the devil.
All right. I'm gonna tell you guys this story. My friend Evan, who I'm bandmates with, we've talked about him on the show before.
Of Evan
Yeah.
Roulets and Evan the Roulets.
Yes.
That one. Yeah.
So it was a couple years ago. No, it was last year. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. We got a friend of ours to take us to the drive-through safari.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love that place.
So,
Ooh, yeah.
for our listeners that don't know, here in Huntsville, like outside of town on the south,
The drive-through zoo.
there is a drive-through zoo. You drive up your car, and you just drive through, and all these animals are walking around, and you can buy a big bucket of food and feed these animals with the cups.
We say animals, it's 75% emus.
Yeah.
It's
is.
75% emus,
15
about
or 25% everything else.
75% emus, probably like 20% deer. And then,
That aren't part of the zoo.
Yeah,
They're just there.
they're
They
just
just
there.
follow through and like to get fed.
Let me give you a tip right quick for going through the drive-through.
they have
zoo.
a yak.
They do have a yak. Here's a solid tip for going to the drive-through zoo: take someone else's car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
You're gonna-
absolutely.
Yeah.
Take an old car.
Yeah.
Yes.
Take an old car there.
and not
Yeah.
your own. You trick a friend and go to go.
Yeah,
into the
no, that's
drive-thru
exactly
zoo.
what we did. We got a friend of ours to drive us there because both Evan and I had never been to it before.
Nice.
And not only did we go, we got smashed.
Yes.
We both had giant bottles of whiskey. And it was 10 in the morning.
That makes the story better because you had to
So-
have started at least 9:30.
So we met at 9:30 in a parking lot in South Huntsville. We all met there and then got into her car. And then Evan and I both got in the back and just started drinking
pounding.
it up.
Just
pounding
pounding it
drinks
down.
Going as fast as we can before we get there on the way. And it took like 20 minutes to get there.
Jesus.
So we're like drunk as shit going through this zoo. And there are moments in time where like we were there, like we were the second people in line there. And when you go there that early, the animals haven't been eating food all day from the people.
Yeah.
So they were ravenous.
Yeah.
And so there was like a ram had walked up and was literally like headbutting the car. Like,
Christ.
give me some fucking food. And then
Yeah.
a fucking llama walks up.
It doesn't-
And they tell you to like throw the food out and not like
Which not a single human being does.
Yeah.
Everyone who I've been through that zoo a couple times, and literally everybody puts in their hands and sticks their hands outside of the car.
Yeah.
So you lose
risking
that.
life and limb so
So-
that an animal mouth will touch their
here's
hand.
what happened with this fucking llama
Yeah.
is I filled a cup up with food, like all the way up with food, and I was about to throw it out. This llama grabs the cup from me and tips it up like this, tips the whole thing up, and then is just eating food out of the cup and eating food out of the cup, and I was just like, all right, well, this adventure is over for me because that cup's fucking gone. I'm never going to see that. And then the llama spits the cup back into the car.
That's amazing.
That's
Yeah.
adorable.
Jesus.
And so we go along as going through, and then we get to these fucking emus. And Evan, I'm like trying to roll my window up because emus, as much as I love birds,
Yeah.
emus are terrifying.
Yeah.
And Evan rolls down. He leans across me, rolls down my window, and then I'm also too drunk to do anything about it. Evan sticks the cup of food in front of my face, where then an emu starts putting his head into the car
God.
to start pecking out of the cup 6 inches away from my face. And that was the most terrified I've ever been in my entire life.
That's hilarious.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so
Why do you like birds so much?
Yeah. What
birds are awesome.
Why are llamas
they?
your favorite
First
birds?
of all, they used
Why
to...
are llamas your favorite birds?
What the fuck is happening?
Just as in, Ben doesn't know a lot about birds. I mean, I don't know a lot about birds. He knows even less than I do.
I'm just
Although
trying to be
birds are
silly.
cool. They
Yeah.
used to be dinosaurs.
Yeah. Now they're just in Legend of Zelda games.
Plus, there's some like domesticated birds that are basically like toddlers, and they're adorable.
Are toddlers adorable?
No.
It's contextual. I think a bird
Oh.
doing toddler things is much cuter than a toddler doing toddler things.
Yeah, they always got their fucking tiaras and
Yeah,
shit.
like there's a YouTube channel where there's this guy who just films his. I think it's a cockatiel. It's the white
With like the yellow thing on the top.
It doesn't have yellow. It's just all white. But it does. They're very aggressive and they will like raise their crown up a lot. But like he'll stack up these cups and then the bird will just come like running through and knock all the cups over. And then there was this.
Welcome back to Bird Watching with
Yeah.
Ari, Travis, and Ben.
There
This
was
week's
this.
Travis is going through his experiences with birds.
on the internet.
And then there's
Next
this one
week,
video.
Ari will mention how she's killed two with her bare hands.
No stone required.
And there's another one where the bird is just like chilling and he has a cup in his hand and he keeps like bringing the cup to his beak and he's screaming into it and it's like, it's really
Wait,
cute.
in his hand?
Yeah, in his like claw.
In his wing?
No, in his claw.
His like.
He's standing on one foot.
Oh,
and then
okay.
he's grabbing the cup with the other one and he can bring it to his face and he's going.
Okay, I do know some toddlers that do that,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
not totally crazy.
Yeah.
Have you seen the videos of like the similar bird like running through the shit playing soccer?
Yeah.
And gets like hype as fuck when he makes a goal. Oh, that's fucking cool.
Have you
Yeah.
seen the video that's just cats acting like big jungle cats acting like all cats?
Yes, those are always great.
Another one beneath it says all cats is the same.
All cats is the same.
is it-
Pretzels is the same.
That's the same.
Is
Cats
it-
is the same.
Is it bad that we're doing like the ultimate visual?
Yeah,
gag?
we're like, hey, here's this video I
We're
saw.
talking about.
yeah.
Well, I mean, the entire second half of the podcast is talking about a video, so
Yeah, but
it's
that's
not
like
totally crazy.
That's
Yeah.
a video that is like easily accept like it's easy to grasp.
Yeah,
Like you can
all
go
right.
just on
Well, we're
Netflix and
running-
watch
well,
it with
we're-
us.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the short answer
We're not going to
is,
do a meta-analysis on this bird being adorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, the short of it is I think birds are cute and they're nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have different definitions of cute and
Yeah.
nice.
This is true. He did not appreciate the dogs at the house we stayed at Friday
I
night.
appreciated them a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
I touched them.
You did. You got to pet them. They were
Yeah.
adorable. Yeah. It was like a chocolate lab.
Did you guys, went to a sweet B&B for your honeymoon?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Actually, fun fact. Janice did think we were gay for a second.
Yeah, that was really funny.
That was funny as hell.
Because she was like, okay, there's one big bed and one small bed. And I don't know if you guys are like gay or anything. It's fine if you are, but in case you're not.
Not that it matters. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah. But it was
Long
cool.
story short, Travis is not that bad to sleep with.
No, long story short, I'm better at rock, paper, scissors than Ben is.
We had to go a few extra rounds. That was weird.
Yeah, we tied. We were like best 2 out of 3, and we tied, and then I
Yeah.
brought it out in the end.
Yeah.
Why were you guys sleeping together?
We went on a road trip for a show down in
Yeah.
Tallahassee, Florida.
Tallahassee, Florida.
And tell us about the fine city of Tallahassee
It
in the fine
was-
state of Florida.
Well, we didn't really stay in Tallahassee much. Like, we just went to Tallahassee to do the show.
Yeah.
We were mostly in a little town and about 45, 50 minutes out called Carabel.
It was a lovely little fishing town.
Which is it's on the bay, right? It
Yeah.
wasn't the coast.
It was on like this little inlet bay of
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah, so it was in this little bay, and there's just like a nice little group of like little fishing towns.
Yeah.
That sounds adorable.
We stayed with like this mid 60s.
Yeah, she was like she was about 60,
Yeah.
and she was from Ireland, and she was from Ireland.
Yeah.
Like she had lived in Ireland for about 30 years of her life,
Where did
Damn.
she say
and then
she
moved
was,
over here.
What city was she from?
The one that's not Dublin.
No, it wasn't like. Well, she said it was like the rough one.
Belfast?
Yes.
Yeah, she's from Belfast.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Is
Yeah.
that in Ireland?
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe
Okay,
so.
good. That's good.
Yeah. But it was so much fun, like fucking around with her. She was hilarious.
Yeah, she was hilarious. She was a great conversationalist. She
Yeah.
was very charismatic,
That's awesome.
which is great because I've never used Airbnb, and I was like, we could potentially get murdered.
Yeah. But like an older Irish lady, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
We would be the idea behind a great scary movie called Scare B&B.
The murder would be called the Banshee. Ooh.
But we asked her where we should go for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And she asks us where we're going. We said Tallahassee, kind of in like the middle of Tallahassee, like almost not kind of downtowny kind of place. And she just takes us like on the route to Tallahassee, like going through the places we would pass and suggesting why we should pass these places.
Yeah.
It was fucking hilarious. And then she was like, all right, you're going to cross this bridge and you're going to see 2 restaurants. One is called Angelo's. Basically, all you're paying for is to sit over the water and eat okay fish and shitty sides, or shite sides, as she
Yeah,
said.
she
Nice.
said all the sides are shite.
It was adorable. And then she said, then there's a place next to it called Tropical Traders. Eat there.
Yeah.
It's decent.
Owned by the same people that owned Angelo's, but
Not as fancy.
not as fancy.
Yeah. Well, the food was
Yeah,
like 5 stars.
It was
for real.
incredible.
Yeah. It was like this little hole in the wall, kind of shady little place looking. Did not look like much.
Yeah. It was very, I feel like it was very sustained by its regulars.
Yeah.
Because everything down there was, because people would walk in the door and be like, hey.
And they'd be like,
it's
hey,
you.
Nick.
Yeah. They'd be like, they'd know each other by first name and everything like that.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was like a, kind of like a, well, if you're in the Huntsville area, it was very similar if it was like a seafoody Maggie Myers.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. I see.
But it was fantastic. I would love to go there again.
Yeah.
The food was fucking amazing. I would suggest anything on the menu.
Absolutely.
And the key lime pie, fucking get
Key
it.
lime pit. All right. So we were there, and I had this huge plate of food. It was shrimp, it was deviled crab, it was fried mullet, and I was
I thought you got the grouper.
no, it was mullet.
Oh, okay.
I was fucking stuffed.
It was a hell of a mullet. The
And
80s
then
would be proud.
And then our server walks by, and she's like, "Well, do you guys want anything for dessert?" And I said, "Oh, I am stuffed." And then she, completely ignoring that, said, "Well, we have key lime pie and we have peanut butter chocolate chip pie." And I was like, "Oh, you fucking said it! Get me that!"
Well, I'm glad you
But-
guys had a good time.
Yeah.
But while he was getting the pie talk, I was going to the bathroom, which something amazing happened. By amazing, I mean I got a pretty decent bit out of it, and it's fucking hilarious. I hate to preface it with that. But so I go to the bathroom. The only thing we had eaten all day was Huddle House by my house, 7 hours away. And so my belly's a little rumbling. I'm hungry. Other things need to happen as well. And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to head to the bathroom. And so I'm going down to business, and it's taking a while because it was Huddle House. And I hear this little kid knock, and he's knocking on the door like he's the fucking police.
The cop knock.
Yeah, the real high, like hard knock.
Yep.
And then that's when I hear the dad go, he's like, hey, bud, somebody's in there. We need to let them finish up, and then we can go. And that's when the kid starts to cry.
Oh.
And I mean, like, his ass is getting beat on Christmas hard.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I've eventually finished because it takes a while. And I'm washing my hands and I come out, and that's when like two little kids, like their mamas are down on their knees, like trying to console them and everything. And then the one who was cop knocking on the door, he runs into the bathroom and starts crying again. And then that's when the dad walks in and he says, "Hey, bud, why you crying?" And then he goes, "Oh, shit. I see why you're crying." And then that's when I go order a slice of key lime pie.
That is hilarious. I love that.
Yeah. I hate telling toilet humor jokes, but shit like that you can't pass up.
No, we can't.
Literally, am I right?
Hey.
I'm disappointed in myself for that joke.
I'll give you a clap on that one.
So, I'm glad you guys had a good time.
It was
Yeah.
fan-goddamn.
It was great.
Let's move away from
The shit talk.
the shit talk and into some very serious talk. Let's have a very serious discussion about the nature of art and theft.
Oh. Okay.
What you got?
Okay. So, I love Lady Gaga, right?
I already love this conversation.
I love Lady Gaga.
Where is this going?
Yeah. Let's go downhill. What we
Just
got?
wait, my buds. Just wait.
Strap the fuck in.
I love Lady Gaga so much.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite songs from her is Born This Way. I don't know if you know this. It sounds a titch like another very famous song about, being yourself, your gay self. And that song is Express Yourself by Madonna.
Right.
And if you listen to both songs, they sound very similar.
Yeah. Well, I feel like Lady Gaga pulled a lot of inspiration from Madonna.
Exactly. I have had so many arguments with friends who were like, "Oh, Lady Gaga's just ripping off Madonna," and it's like
she's not ripping off Madonna. She's
building on
our
Madonna.
Yeah, she's building on Madonna. She is our generation's Madonna.
Yeah. And the thing is I think that it doesn't come from a place of like loving Madonna. I think it comes from a place of wanting to shit on Lady Gaga. And whenever somebody talks about this, I like to bring up the fact that Shakespeare is nothing but a joke thief.
Pretty much.
He is just the biggest literary thief in the fucking world. He wrote Romeo and Juliet. The idea he got for Romeo and Juliet was from a poem also titled Romeo and Juliet.
That's just like copy and pasting a fucking paper from the internet.
Yeah,
Not
man.
even changing the name on it.
It's basically plagiarism.
Well,
He added some scenes.
Okay.
It's not basically it's plagiarism.
Yeah.
Because what makes Shakespeare is not the plots or the characters, it's the language.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And his sympathy for people. He humanizes people,
Okay.
usually. And yeah, so that's kind of what I want to talk about today is like,
Well-
what are your influences? What are the things that you do that remind you of other people and other artists?
Well,
Uh,
in our comedy or
In anything.
in anything?
I mean, particularly in comedy, because that's
Yeah.
what we all are. But but I think it's so important to remember that we are standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah.
which is a very esoteric phrase, but basically, I think to make anything original at this point, you have to pull enough references and mix enough things together to make it original that you can't really see the thing. Mm-hmm. Like a cake. When you see a cake, you don't see the flour, the eggs, or anything like that. You just see the finished product.
Right.
Which is where we are with media now. But in like Shakespearean days, it was like early enough to be like, hey, you got this from Bob, and he wrote it like last week. Come on now.
And Willie would be like, no, man, I thought of it.
Yeah, it just popped in my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, like these days, you can pull from millennias of works.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
And I feel like even, I think throughout time, all of the stories that we know and love are all based off some kind of legend or religious story, or and then it goes from that into
Myth or cultural idea.
myth or cultural idea, and then it all comes together to become what it is.
yeah,
we have Stranger Things because we had the Goonies, and we had the Goonies because we had, you know,
Long John Silver and Treasure Island.
Exactly.
And we had Treasure Island because we had
Blackbeard and
yeah,
Sinbad.
and all that fucking
Yeah,
shit.
so
Why?
everything comes from itself.
To go further back, we could have like even like Jason and the Argonauts and like things like
Oh
that.
yeah, absolutely.
Or the Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we all art is just building on each other, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. You have to be. I think it's so important for you to be aware of what your influences are,
Yeah.
so that you can create something out of that.
I think that's what makes good media these days is people that create this are self-aware of what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they know how to mask, like,
That they're stealing something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because all good artists steal.
Yeah. Okay, artists
Like,
borrow.
what
Great
is,
artists steal.
Like The Lion King
Yeah.
is basically Hamlet.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm going to disagree with you there. It's basically Henry IV and V.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So The Lion King is basically Shakespearean.
Yes.
Okay.
It's definitely influenced by that.
But I will say we can like sugarcoat it all we want by saying like the good artists steal and that whole thing. But at the end of the day, you have to mix up enough things to be like, oh, I made a new thing.
Yeah.
You just can't go to the store and buy like a little package of Kraft cheese
No, you don't
and
wanna
be like,
rip
this
off.
is my cheese.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it can't be 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Like Vanilla Ice and Queen.
Sure.
It can't be. I can't remember what Vanilla Ice song it is.
Ice Ice Baby.
It's Ice Ice
But
Baby.
at the same time,
And
look
Under
at all the
Pressure.
sampling
Yes.
that does happen,
Exactly.
you know, in hip hop since the beginning of hip hop. Like,
I don't know a whole lot about Vanilla Ice. Did he ever come out saying, "No, like I just like got this from Queen," or did he was like, "No, I made this"? Because it's 1-to-1.
No, I think he finally did.
Okay.
Because the whole thing about that was when sampling was so in its infancy.
Yeah.
That anything that was sampled, everyone thought it was stolen.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because in a sense, it was.
Yeah.
Well,
But I think we've gotten to this point where music is so much more collaborative now that we're more okay with sampling. Like, almost all the hip hop things I listen to are just filled with samples. Like,
Yeah.
it's almost the only thing original in it is the kick drum, and the snare.
well, and I also want to say, I don't think Ice Ice Baby uses a Queen the Under Pressure sample. I don't
You
think it's
think-
sampling from Under Pressure. I think it's just different enough. It's not a straight sample.
Yeah.
But it sounds too similar.
Yeah.
I think the best samples for me are when it takes a pre-existing song and does something different with it.
Yeah.
And Ice Ice Baby doesn't really do that. And I
Yeah.
think that's the problem people have with it. It's just a straight steal.
Yeah.
I feel like one of the most sampled songs in like hip hop, especially like indie hip hop, is "Roller Coaster of Love,"
Yeah.
because it's that bump, 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 and it's just got a really good drive to it.
Yeah.
So that's one I hear a lot.
So there's good samples, and then there's bad samples.
But
There's
you
good
think
stealing,
but-
and then there's lazy stealing.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's what I want to talk about, the lazy bad stuff. Because there's a Kid Rock song. I already know.
Yes, I
You're
know
not-
what you're talking
Oh,
about.
Yeah.
that one.
The one where he just uses a bunch of Metallica songs.
It's Werewolf in London. No, we're not talking about the same thing. Never mind.
No.
I'm talking about the Kid Rock song where that's Leonard Skinner.
Oh, the All Summer Long song?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's just...
Yeah, the whole where it's just him doing different lyrics to "Sweet Home Alabama."
Yes. Like talking about living in Michigan.
Yeah,
But the
it's
one...
"Sweet Home Alabama," but you're from Michigan, so you can't do "Sweet Home Alabama."
Well, they were... I think
Also, that song's already been done.
I think
Yeah.
the line is...
no one wants to hear about Michigan.
we were singing "Sweet Home Alabama" all summer long.
That's
or something
the
like
hook,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. But the song I'm talking about is like the more upbeat, like angry song. He's trying to go back to his like when he was young.
His roots.
back to ba da ba.
Yeah. All right. I'll be real honest with you. When I was in middle school and like
Yo,
elementary,
ba da ba was a fucking banger in middle
it
school.
was hype as fuck. But I don't know. Kid Rock is 40s or 50s.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying you can't get like down with it when you're fucking like when you get in like that age.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. You could. There's better bands to use than Metallica.
Did you know that Master of Puppets was actually listed as historically and culturally significant in the Library of Congress?
I can believe it because
not
it's very
surprised.
influential. Because
Yeah.
it's one of those albums that got people into metal.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
got me into metal. If you're 12 years old and you're discovering metal music for the first time, you're probably gonna find a Master of Puppets. You're probably gonna find whatever
The Black Album.
the Black Album. You're gonna find the that Iron Maiden album that has Run to the Hills on it.
I think that's what the name. What the fuck is the name?
Is there? I don't know. There's like 6 million Iron Maiden albums.
Well, there was
Lenny,
also 6 billion fucking members.
Yeah.
Never forget that one of the most influential directors of the 20th century is Lenny Riefenstahl / animators. You guys don't know who I'm talking about.
Give us a
She's
little
the
refresh.
woman who directed all of Hitler's propaganda films.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she is one of the most influential directors / animators ever.
That is true.
And so, yeah, just because something's not good or bad, it doesn't mean that can't influence a lot of people,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Well, I
mean,
think-
Birth of a Great Nation basically created what we think of as narrative film.
Yeah.
I do. I like to think that Kid Rock influenced a lot of people to make better music.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
I want to quote a tweet.
Yes.
You know, there's actually an MLA format for that if
Yeah, I
you
know.
want to use it. So,
There's a tweet that says, you know how the argument was, well, if you don't like it, go make your own.
Yeah.
And now that we're making our own, everyone's like, what's all this gay shit?
that tweet keeps me warm.
Yeah.
It keeps me warm on
It
many
watered
of the cold
my
nights.
crops.
Yeah. Brought my husband back from the war.
Can you guys tell what, like, month of the year we record our episodes in based on what memes we quote?
That's the question.
Yeah.
Let us know.
There
Let
are
us know.
memes of the month, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna guess
Yeah.
yes.
Let
Yeah.
us know.
Or we're just super behind the times. You'll
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah, we're
Actually,
about-
you do know.
We're like what, almost 9 months behind in the times, if you want to get specific with it.
Yeah.
We're 7 months behind the times.
Something like that.
Yeah.
This episode's probably going to come out in June.
Well,
It's
July
November right now.
is the 6 month from distance from. We're 8 months behind the time. July, it's January, July. That's 6 months.
That tweet I quoted, by the way, is attributed to @GlitterVolt.
Check their shit out.
Yeah, they're probably funny. I don't
Like, subscribe, send them a fruit basket. I don't know how Twitter works.
Ben is bad at Twitter.
Yeah, that's the one I don't use.
Yeah,
To
see,
be
I
fair,
use
we're all bad at Twitter.
Yeah, I use Instagram way more than I use Twitter. Half of my tweets are I posted this picture on Instagram.
There you go.
Because we had a conversation about that in Florida.
Yeah.
Because if you don't say anything, Twitter automatically gives you a thing to put.
Yeah,
on.
so if you post an Instagram thing and then say cross post it to Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, if you do it to Twitter, it automatically generates the phrase "I just posted a photo" because it knows that if something gets cross posted to Twitter that is just a link, it will most likely be marked as spam.
Yep.
All right. Well, going back to like things that are steal that are bad.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
we got off track.
I'm gonna put forward the movie Barbed Wire.
What is that?
Are you
It
talking
is
about
a gender-flipped remake of Casablanca.
Are we talking about
What?
the Pam Anderson movie?
Yes, we are.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
What?
So there is this comic book called Barbed Wire,
Yeah,
which
God.
is set in the near future, and this woman named Barbed Wire runs we'll call it a watering hole, and she meets this man that she had in. It's the plot of Casablanca. Have you
Okay.
seen Casablanca?
Yeah,
That's it.
I've seen Casablanca.
Except it's rewritten to be like sci-fi, and also Barbed Wire is like a mercenary type, and also she's played by Pam Anderson, and also she hates being called Babe.
Yeah.
If you call her Babe, she'll go, "Don't call me Babe." and then she'll drop a tank on you.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts.
I may have seen screenshots from that.
Yes.
The only thing I wish Barbed Wire had in it was the line, "Here's to looking at boobs, kid."
That's not what happens.
No, it's not.
That
No,
would
it's
have been.
not.
They missed an opportunity.
Yeah, they did.
Because she is dressed like a fetish model.
Yup.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it goes along with the name.
Yeah. Except maybe if you're living in the near dystopian future, you want to wear something sensible.
Wasn't it set in like 2005? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's set in like 2020.
Yeah, something.
This is what we have to look forward
So
to in
in
3
like
years.
2 years,
Yeah.
2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
just about.
No, I don't know what it said, but it was a comic book, and I haven't read the comic book, so that's why I said the movie. The
Yeah.
movie is real bad.
Yeah, it
But
is.
it didn't have to be bad. It's just that, the writing's bad, and it doesn't look very good, and it's not shot well, and Pam's not a great actress. None
but
of those things were working in its favor.
it's just one of those movies that didn't have a chance because at the time of the making of the film,
All comic book movies sucked ass.
Yeah.
and no one really wanted to make a good sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Because everybody wanted to make more like realistic movies. It's probably the better way to go.
We were in a very dark time period where all the movies had to be like gritty realism.
Yeah.
Like think Daredevil,
Oh,
right?
You mean like
Oh,
you mean
yeah,
like now
the
where
Daredevil
every
movie was very like
yeah
Yeah.
yeah
It's just where it was kind of goofy because it's a superhero product, and superheroes are just kind of goofy inherently.
Yeah.
It's kind of dumb that Bruce Wayne, instead of going to a therapist when his parents died, becoming a doctor, decided to dress up as a bat and fight crime.
Yeah.
It's just kind of silly, right?
yeah.
Sorry, everybody. So I think that they tried in the early 2000s. They tried to go gritty dark, but they didn't have the correct. But they wanted to keep some of the goofiness in there,
Yeah.
and that's how you get scenes like Elektra and Daredevil fighting on a what are those things called?
The things that
Things-
go up and down like
yeah,
this.
they go up and down like this.
An elevator?
No,
An
it's
escalator?
It's in a children's
dumbwaiter?
playground.
A
seesaw.
Seesaw?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Fighting on a seesaw. Kung
can't-
fu on a seesaw,
It has
y'all.
been a long time since I've seen that old Daredevil movie.
yeah
Yeah, and so Barbed Wire, which is kind of silly to begin with because it's a dystopian, gender-flipped, futuristic version of Casablanca.
Yeah.
And they just were trying too hard to be like, yeah, we're edgy.
yeah.
Aren't we cool? Isn't everything we do cool and badass?
There's one really cool movie from about the same time period. It's animated. I think we've talked about it before. Heavy Metal.
Yeah.
That's from the 80s.
Isn't it? I thought Barbed Wire was like 88, 89 or something.
No, I gotta look it up.
Okay. But no, that's like Heavy Metal is one of those movies where it knows it's edgy, it knows it's dark, but it has fun with it because it doesn't take itself too seriously. Because it doesn't feel bad for making fun of itself.
Y'all, I didn't look up Barbed Wire movie. I just looked up Barbed Wire, and guess what I got? An article on Barbed Wire.
Sweet.
Hey.
Barbed Wire came out in 1996.
Yep.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, it's a super recent thing.
Or Barbed
Well-
Wire is her name.
It's 20 years ago at this point.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
fucking
super
God.
recent.
Yeah. Super recent. Yeah, but
Damn.
yeah.
The plot of the film is loosely based on the plot of Casablanca.
No shit.
Oh man, it's not loosely based on a goddamn thing.
So, we're living in an age where comic book movies are pretty much making all the money.
They're the wow.
And you know what
Yeah.
I think helped make comic book movies good?
What?
I think it's YouTube.
Yeah.
Really?
I think so. I draw a lot of parallels between action-based, graphic-based YouTube channels,
Yeah.
and especially the movie Scott Pilgrim,
Okay.
because that's where I started noticing this change. Is there were a bunch of YouTube channels like Freddie W and Corridor Digital, and they're all very successful nowadays.
Yeah.
They do a lot of very video gamey, action-based videos, and they all have a lot of video effects and cool guns and sounds and zip zap zip zap.
Yeah.
And all of those YouTube channels were at the height of their popularity when Scott Pilgrim came out. And Scott Pilgrim is also very stylized and very VFX and very like zoop zap zip bop. Very.
It is like that, yeah.
It is exactly like that, and those all are together, and I think that's part of why. And I know Scott Pilgrim came out like before Iron Man or whatever, or after Iron Man. But
Iron Man came out in 2008.
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim came out in 2010.
Yeah, exactly. But I still think just independent filmmakers, like at least loosely influencing each other, helped make comic book movies good. Because then producers were able to go on YouTube and look at what do people think is good.
Well, I actually think the whole like comic book boom is actually for a lot of reasons. I think we can even go back as far as Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
Lord of the Rings really changed filmmaking.
It did. It was a fucking feat of fucking visual effects.
Do you want to know?
In the
well,
same
it's not
way
even
that
just visual effects.
In the same way that Jurassic Park was.
But it's not even just visual effects. It changed how movies are made. In the fact that, well, first of all, it's one of the only genre movies, and by genre, of course, I mean sci-fi, fantasy, historical fiction, or romance, to win an Oscar for Best Picture, right? Because usually, Best Picture, this is, oh, hold on. Ari? Don't go on a tangent about how the Oscars are bullshit.
Let's go on a tangent about how all award shows are bullshit.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm
God.
kidding. That's an episode by itself.
Yeah.
Any hoozle.
Okay, so Best Picture is usually reserved, especially in the early 2000s, was reserved for moody drama pieces.
Yeah.
Shitty, moody drama pieces. Crash has an Oscar. All right, I'm done. But Lord of the Rings was one of the first movies that the original plan was to do like one movie, and then they were going to do 2 movies, and then Peter Jackson finally finagled doing 3, and they filmed them all at one time.
Yeah.
God damn.
Well, they filmed one after the other after the other.
No, they filmed them in 2 years.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah, and then they released them 1 year after the other after the other.
Okay.
But what was
I was
crazy
thinking of
about
Harry
it?
Potter.
Yes, but they had to film Harry Potter one after the other because those kids were going to age.
Yeah.
Isn't like, what's his name? The Avatar guy? Was it any hoozle? Isn't he like filming the next 8 Avatar movies? Like just bam, 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 bam,
I
bam,
don't
bam,
know
bam.
because I care about Avatar so much less than I care about Lord of the Rings. Also,
Okay.
that's James Cameron. Who you're
Oh
thinking
yeah.
of. Yeah, James Cameron, wildly successful filmmaker.
For weird reasons.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Titanic.
Titanic and Terminator 2.
Yeah,
Do you know why he made Titanic?
to make Avatar.
No, because he wanted to find the Titanic.
Really?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
like half of the production budget of the movie Titanic.
Yeah.
Was they actually went on expeditions to find the Titanic boat.
So you know how I've talked about on this very podcast the fact that I haven't seen Titanic?
Yeah.
At confession time, I tried watching Titanic once. This was when I was a small baby child,
Oh.
and I wasn't as into documentary film as I am now. And the opening of that movie looks like a documentary film, and I was like,
Yeah, it does.
"Oh, I thought this was a narrative." All right, turn off. And
Yeah.
I watched like the first 10 minutes of Titanic, and then I was done
Right.
because I was like, "This is boring."
Because it was.
But anyways, so it was crazy because they didn't know if those movies were going to be successful,
Yeah.
right? I mean, before the Lord of the Rings, most fantasy movies were either animated or garbage. And I don't mean garbage isn't bad. I mean not popular.
Yeah, I can get behind
You know,
that.
super niche, right?
Yeah, like Dune, a Death Race.
Well, that's sci-fi.
Well, both.
Well, it's science fantasy,
Yeah.
but like sci-fi typically does better in the box office than fantasy does. I mean, look at Star Wars, which is science fantasy, but it's still sci-fi.
Yeah. Okay.
There's kind of this idea that like sci-fi is better than fantasy.
We're not gonna have this conversation.
Yeah, we're not going to have this
We're about to have a
conversation right
conversation about how sci-fi isn't better than fantasy.
now. God.
Right now.
You know, we don't have time for that.
No, we don't.
Later, baby, later. Just in case you guys are ever like, oh, I wonder what Ari's Pillow Talk is like. It's this. Oh, do you want to hear the trends in literary fiction and also movies? No? Okay. we're never going to see each other again. So I think that with the Lord of the Rings, people were starting to see like, yeah, you could do these huge, like, you could plan out these movies and film them all at once and have an audience to depend on.
Yeah.
And I think that coupled with, yeah, like you said, this idea that not every superhero movie had to be as realistic as possible. And also just the early 2000s to, you know, now, which is just Hollywood mining nostalgic properties
Yeah.
and making movies about them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not surprising to me that, you know,
Comic book.
comic books have come back.
There was an article I read
Well, not comic books, but comic book movies.
kind of recently describing that comic book movies are just the new westerns. Because like back in the day, you could make a western about anything and people would watch it. And so it's like today, make a movie about any kind of comic book hero you can find.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to go watch that movie.
And they both tap into a nostalgic feeling about America's past.
Exactly.
That's very true. Yeah.
Even though westerns are just about as fake as comic books.
Yeah. So all this
Faker
talk.
in some ways.
Yeah.
Very true.
Because at least comic books have, like, you know, black people in them.
Hey. Boom.
I mean, not as many as they should be, but they do exist.
Have you never seen Blazing Saddles? That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Blazing Saddles isn't a Western, it's a parody of
It's
a Western.
it's fair enough.
Blazing Saddles killed the Western.
Yeah.
But speaking of genres that are like just void of black people, I have a dream. I hope that that video game movies at some point get the same treatment as westerns and comic book movies.
I don't think video game movies will ever be as good as comic book movies.
Hold on.
I have I'm gonna make the Resident Evil franchise again, and I
Oh,
will make
God.
it fucking good. If I had the money, the manpower, and the people behind me to do so, I could
think-
make great films.
Guys.
I think that's impossible.
Guys, we have a good comic book movie. And that movie is Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
You're right.
That movie is a comic book movie. Or not a comic book movie, a video game movie.
Was it based on a video game, or was it based?
No, but it is.
But it is so influenced by video games, it can't not be a video game movie.
I'm talking about a straight up, just good.
It's like an adaptation.
Yes.
Well, then
See, I think that's impossible.
I think it can
you
be
could do it.
done.
Yeah.
But I think, and actually, we talked about this the other day.
Did we?
Okay. Yes, we talked about this. Okay. Because I was talking about the fact that Chris McKay, the will-be director of the Nightwing movie, has all my hopes and dreams in his pocket. And I am hopeful because he seems to really love that character. He really loves Nightwing. But I am reminded of, every time I think of that, I am reminded of Doug Jones, who directed Warhammer. And if there's one thing you can't accuse Doug Jones of, is you can't accuse him of not loving Warhammer.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem with that movie, is that he's so married to the mythos that he can't write a good story.
That's the problem with the Silent Hill movies.
Yes.
I will say the first one, it's all right. The second one is not as bad as people say it is. They're just a
Yeah.
solid 6, 7. That's it.
And as a filmmaker, you really have to walk that line. Like, if you watch the Lord of the Rings, like behind the scenes stuff, as much as I did, you'll know that like Peter Jackson had to decide
Yes.
that the movies were basically the main part of the movie was gonna be Sam and Frodo's story.
Yes.
Like everyone else does all these other great things, and they touch on that, but all the focus is really on Sam and Frodo.
He had to choose to cut
Yeah,
things.
and
That's literally all you would have to do for video game movies to be good.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
but video games are to a point where they are basically their own movie.
They are.
Where I feel like you can get so much more content and enjoyability out of a video game by itself. You don't need a supplementary movie with it.
You are very much not wrong with that. But I just want, because I have a love-hate relationship with the Resident Evil movies. I saw most of them in theaters. I saw the last one in theater because I had to.
Yeah.
But I think if they had just focused, if Paul W.S. Anderson wasn't just so far up Mia Jokovich's ass.
Well, a girl can dream, right?
I'm not saying like I have anything against their marriage or anything like that, but the movies in their own right, not terrible. But from the mythos standpoint of Resident Evil, if he had just follow the goddamn games because they have fantastic stories, and you could have gotten an hour and a half, 2 hours easily out of those.
But you can't follow them obsessively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta give.
And that's
gotta
like
make
if someone were to make like a Fallout movie,
You could do that.
you could do it. You
Yeah.
would have to, and I feel like something like Fallout is so expansive and loose
In fact, if you
that
would get real loose, with
you could make a Fallout movie where the protagonist is a vault dweller, and then they're released into the wasteland, and then they have to do a task that they were assigned, like find their dad, or find the water chip, or find the water chip again, or find who shot them in the head, or find their son, something like that. It could be a movie.
I got 2 movies for you.
Yeah.
One is very loose and esoteric, Mad Max.
Well, yeah.
Second one, The Postman.
The Postman.
Stars Kevin Costner. I want to say it came out about. It was like either before or after Waterworld.
I actually like Waterworld.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb, but it's fun.
Yeah.
But The Postman is post-apocalyptic, and it's exactly what it sounds like. He's the postman.
Sweet. So it's Fallout New Vegas.
Exactly. And I thought that's why you would enjoy it.
Anime do video game adaptations all the fucking time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And those anime are pretty popular. Like Persona 4,
Yeah.
that's a pretty popular show.
And 5.
Yeah.
I hope it gets a fucking TV show. It's fucking good.
Well, and also like a lot of anime are based off of visual novels.
Yeah.
Which are video games, as far as I can tell. I don't know. I don't know a lot about
At
them.
this point, yes.
And I've seen some of those anime without playing the game, so I don't know how good of adaptations they are, but they're not bad shows.
Yeah.
You know how, like, if you compare the Harry Potter movies to the Harry Potter books,
Yeah.
it's like that.
Okay.
Because Persona 4, I've gotten all the way up for the golden ending for Persona 4, which the ending is a goddamn bitch to get. But anywhoozle, it's like what Travis is saying. Video games are their own media that you can consume as long as you want.
Yeah.
Because you have books, TV shows, movies, and now we can finally throw video games into this conversation. You consume these at different rates.
Right.
Like a movie, hour and a half. TV show, it can be a 24 episode season, like Supernatural. A book can take you weeks, months, or a night to finish. And then a video game is very similar. You have something like, what was that game a few years ago that people got pissed because it was like 7 hours long, but it looks beautiful? I think you have it. The Order, 1886.
The Order 1886. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful game, but it is like 6 minutes long
Pretty much.
and also pretty boring. I don't like that game.
But then you have something like Persona 4, Fallout, Skyrim, Persona 5.
Right.
That will take you hundreds of hours.
Yeah, I'm like a third of the way into Persona 5. 110 hours in.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And like any Pokemon game,
Yes.
I will always have at least 100 hours before I am to the last city.
Yeah.
Or before I am to the final 4.
So I understand chopping it down to that hour and a half or the 30-minute chunks is a bitch to do.
Right.
But you can do it.
It just, you have to
Yeah.
not be married to the game.
yeah.
Exactly. Like,
I will say the Castlevania adaptation on Netflix is wonderful.
The Castlevania adaptation
That is one thing.
really good.
They kept to the source material enough, but they also gave it so much of its own spin that it feels fresh.
Yeah. Like, I'm thinking and actually, I'm going to stop us right here. I'm not going to continue because I have an assignment for you guys.
Okay.
is it to watch Castlevania? I can do this.
Well, yeah, but no. For the next episode,
Okay.
I want each of us to choose a pre-existing property that we love and then write or plan our own. How would we do this movie? How would
Okay.
we do this movie
All
adaptation?
right.
I was doing this anyway.
You
Holy
were.
shit.
Yeah, we kind of got into it today.
Yeah.
But I want to go into detail. I mean,
Okay.
I want most of the first portion of this episode for next time to be us going through our movies.
All right.
We got this.
So,
Also, listeners,
Yeah.
yeah,
if you want to
have
do this
any-
with us,
yes.
If you have a movie adaptation in mind or a book adaptation or something, how would you do
yeah.
it?
yeah, let
Let
us
us
know.
know. Let us know.
Hey, assbuttpodcast@gmail.com.
At
Twitter,
at
at
Habcast, Instagram.
or habcast@tumblr.com.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think I want to leave it there. Let's
Yeah,
watch this episode.
that's good. We are we're going pretty long this time.
All right.
What's happening?
Oh, this
So
one
the
is
episode is called Something Wicked, or alternatively, Something with the Wicked This Way Comes.
Okay.
What's it about, Travis?
Sam and Dean
Okay.
go to a place. And it's a haunted house.
Okay.
And they walk in the house and it's totally black. It's totally dark in the house. And then they hear the click of someone starting a tape recorder or a tape player. And then the song I Put a Spell on You comes on. And a black cat walks out and says the phrase, Something Wicked This Way Comes. And then 3 witch sisters come and turn them into toads.
Well, you are so very wrong. You are so wrong. From beginning to end, you're wrong. I don't even think there's a house. You're so wrong.
I think he did the same thing for the end of last
He
episode.
did, yeah.
It was
I was
something
like,
like
I
that.
realized it around the time
Yeah.
the black cat got introduced. All right, well,
Yeah.
let's watch it and find
Yeah,
out.
let's find out. Okay, before we start, I have to tell everyone about what just happened.
What just happened,
We
Travis?
What just happened, Travis?
we watched the episode, and then we were like, okay, let's start recording. I said, all right. So I go and I grab myself a can of Coke, and then as I'm sitting down, Ari picks up the can of Coke and goes, oh, thank you. And that was some Looney Tunes bullshit. Like, let me cut off one slice of the pie and then give you one slice and I get the whole pie. That is some Looney Tunes ass shit. And then Ben is like, it's okay, bro. I got you. He goes and gets a can of Coke. And as he's handing it to me, he goes, oh, whoops. And then flips the can of Coke around and goes, oh, no, this one was mine. I can't. I can't even.
Yeah. I practiced contact jugglery for a while.
Yeah.
Here's the best thing about that Travis didn't mention. After I said thank you, I popped to the can of
Yeah,
Coke
you
open,
opened it.
and the sound that made sounded like victory. It was amazing.
I feel like that's also something you've always wanted to do to someone.
I mean, my goal in life is to be an asshole, so yes. Travis and I get along so well because we have very similar goals.
Yeah. My goal is to be the most unhelpful person of all time.
Yeah.
Ari's goal is to be an asshole.
Yeah.
So it goes on real well.
Yeah. Our
But-
apartment is just shenanigans.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
it really
Every
is.
time
Just
I'm here.
shenanigans.
So much shenaniganery.
Anyway, let's
right,
talk about
well,
this episode we just
Talk
watched.
about this episode. I think it's my turn to sum up.
Yeah, it probably is.
I'm going to keep the sum up quick this time.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we'll talk about it.
We say that.
I'm going to sum it up quick.
Yeah. We're going to not interrupt you.
I'm practicing for the season finale.
Okay.
rock and roll.
Yeah.
Okay. So we cold open on this little girl. She's just gotten into bed and she's looking out the window and there's this scary hand comes and then it opens the door and then it comes and it sucks her soul out.
Yes.
Okay, I went too fast.
That was very fast. I was like, all right, we're about to listen to a 2-minute rendition of this entire episode.
Okay.
You could do that.
Sam and Dean
Yeah.
have been sent to Michigan to...
Wisconsin? Michigan. Wisconsin.
The sum up isn't going.
It was Wisconsin. Sorry.
Sam and Dean are sent to Wisconsin because all these kids are dropping sick. And Sam's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if this is really like a supernatural thing or maybe they just all have pneumonia. And Dean's like, no, Dad sent us here. It's definitely a supernatural thing. So they get there and they go to the hospital pretending to be CDC workers. And Sam and Dean talk to the doctor and the doctor's like, yeah, I was just about to call you guys. Like 6 or 7 kids have gotten sick. And Sam and Dean are like, why? How? This is crazy. And the doctor goes, nobody knows. We think it's pneumonia. They're not responding to antibiotics. And it's weird because it's going through families. It's just not attacking the parents.
Yeah.
So, like, only the kids are getting sick. One day, one sibling gets sick, and the next day, another sibling gets sick. And Sam and Dean are like, that is freaking crazy. And Dean immediately is like, I know what it is. It's a goddamn Striga.
Yeah.
And Sam's like, what are you talking about? And Dean's like, no, I am super serial. It is a Striga. And meanwhile, while this is going on, we're getting flashbacks to Sam and Dean as children. And, like, we get a little bit into their life. Like, John's like, hey, Dean, take care of your brother. And Dean's like, aye, I am 10 years old. And Sam is being, a 6-year-old. And he's like, I want Lucky Charms for dinner and breakfast and lunch always. And we see, like, Dean, hit the Lucky Charms that he wanted to eat for Sam. It's very sweet. And back in the present, Sam and Dean are searching for the Striga, and they think it might be this old woman, which the Striga is a witch, an Albanian witch, who sucks the life force out of children. Can be anybody, but they prefer kids. And during the day, they just look like you and me, right?
Something innocuous. Yeah.
But usually an old, feebled woman. And so Dean's like, I saw an old, feebled woman in the hospital, where several of those tend to be. Maybe it's her. And so Sam's like, yeah, okay, hospital. But then they go check it out, and it turns out she's just blind.
Yeah.
She's a blind old lady.
with an
They were
upside down
being
crucifix on the wall.
racist.
Yeah.
Well, it's because people kept coming in, like, pranking her and stealing her stuff.
Yeah.
So they would put the crucifix upside down.
See, I think she was just like an old haggardly lady who just thought everyone was stealing from her.
Oh, okay.
And I
But
think-
somebody was putting the cross up.
Yeah.
There's no way it just fell upside down.
Yeah, that's true. The way he just spun it.
Actually, I have a slight theory about this, but let's finish the episode recap first.
I'm gonna guess what the theory is, but let's get to it.
Okay. So, Sam and Dean are like, okay, these Striga are invincible. We can only kill them with consecrated iron bullets while they're feeding. That's when they're vulnerable.
Yeah.
And they are visiting a motel to, stay there while they're researching this. And they realize that there are 2 kids at this hotel, and the younger brother, Asher, has been attacked by the Striga.
Oh, damn.
So it's going to come after Michael.
Yeah.
And Michael and Asher have a very similar dynamic to Sam and Dean, where the mom's gone a lot, and he's left to take care of the hotel and his brother, Michael is. So Dean is really like, oh, I'm looking at these kids, and they remind me of my own life. And after the failed attack on the woman, Sam is researching, like how long the Striga's been in action and how long it's been attacking kids. And he gets back to the 1890s, and he sees a picture with the doctor in it. Oh! And it turns out the doctor is the Striga. And Sam tells Dean this as he's on the phone in the hospital with the mom and Asher. And the doctor comes up and is like, I'm going to do anything I can. And Dean's like, fuck you. Yeah. He doesn't say that, but he says it with his eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
This was a family show at the time.
it really was.
Yeah.
It really was. Dean gets back to the motel. Sam and him regroup, and Dean's like, we have to kill this thing. We have to kill this thing. And Sam's like, yeah, no, I'm on board with killing it, but how? And Dean goes, okay, we use Michael as bait because he's going to come back to get Michael because he goes through siblings. And Sam is like, that is a fucking terrible idea. And Dean goes, no, it won't work any other way. And it's my fault these kids are getting sick. And Sam's like, it's not your fault. Let's talk about your feelings here. And Dean, we see the rest of the flashback where Dean was, feeling antsy. He'd been in that hotel room by himself with his little brother for 3 days. So he goes to the arcade, and when he comes back, the Striga is there and it's attacking Sam. And he is about to shoot it with the consecrated iron bullets, and then his dad comes in and is like, get out of the way! And John's like, pew, pew, pew! And the Striga escapes through the closed window, but we'll talk more on that later. And Sam's like, wow, thank you for telling me this. And Dean's like, yeah, I almost got you killed. And Sam's like, okay, well, it's going to take several years of therapy to unpack all of this. So we'll talk to Michael. We'll see if he wants to, we'll explain the situation to him. We'll see what happens. So they explain what's going on to Michael. And Michael at first is like, fucking no.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do this. And Sam and Dean are like, okay, we respect that decision. We're not going to force you into it. You know, we'll find another way. And then Michael comes back and is like, but will it save my brother? And Sam and Dean are like, maybe? I don't know. And Michael's like, okay, I'll do it. And so they get a nanny cam set up in Michael's room.
Yeah.
They're like, look, kid, we're going to run to the room as soon as the monster comes. We're going to tell you to get under the fucking bed. We will not shoot you. We are experts. You're going to be fine. And Michael's like, okay. Michael's probably like 14.
Yeah, probably.
You think? Like 13, 14?
I don't think he's that old.
12?
I think 12,
He's
11.
definitely
too.
older
yeah,
than 10.
12, 13.
Yeah.
12, 13.
Something
All right.
like that, yeah.
And Dean's like, it's going to be okay. And so Dean and Sam are on stakeout. Michael can't sleep a wink. Can't imagine why.
Yeah.
And Dean and Sam are like, okay, let's catch this fucking thing. And the Striga starts tapping on the window pane.
Just creeping.
It opens the window very creepily. It starts going to Michael. Sam's like, are we going to go
Dude, we're doing this.
plug a cap in his ass? Dean's like, not yet.
Hold.
Yeah.
Hold.
And the Striga is like on Michael. It is
Yeah.
very upsetting.
Yeah.
And Dean's like, okay, now. And they try to shoot it, and it stops eating, so it's still invulnerable. And the Striga attacks Dean, and then it gets on Sam, and it starts sucking the life force out of Sam. And then Dean is just like, pow, 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 and empties a cartridge into this fucking Striga. And we see all the little souls leave the Striga, and Sam and Dean are like, job well done, everybody. Michael's A-okay. Cuts to the next day. Sam and Dean are leaving. And the mom comes back and she's like, Michael, your brother's going to be okay. All the kids are going to be okay too. Hip, hip, hooray. Let's go. And then it ends with Sam and Dean being like, hey, it's kind of fucked up. We had to tell kids about supernatural shit. Never going to sleep again.
Yeah.
All right, bye-bye.
And
And
rock
the
music
episode
plays.
ends. Rock music plays. Not Goo Goo Dolls was playing.
the not Goo Goo Dolls.
I think.
And that's my sum up. So.
Sweet.
I think the song was called Pupils. But-
So, things about this episode.
It was so much like a fucking Japanese video game, the dialogue and the
It wa-
camera angles.
It really was. Like, the whole time you kept talking about how it looked and felt like Deadly Premonition.
I couldn't stop.
And if you haven't done the favor of playing Deadly Premonition for yourself, just imagine Twin Peaks as a Japanese video game, and that's what you got.
Pretty fucking much. Just goofify it a bunch.
Yeah, it's super goofy.
Ben,
Yeah.
you mentioned this, and I just have to, I want to say this because I
Yeah.
wish that was true. So the old woman, right? The reason why Dean's like, probably this lady is because she has an upside down cross.
Yeah.
And you say it, Ben. You say it.
I'm pretty sure that old lady just rocks out to Slayer
Yes.
all day.
Yes. I would have loved it if she was like, yeah, I'm just an old fucking Satanist.
Yeah.
Hail my Lord and Master.
Rated blood, man.
Yeah. She's just
Oh my
like,
God.
I love heavy metal. Don't know what to tell you.
But I think your theory about her and the doctor was that she was just a red herring. If the doctor ever saw someone like messing with her,
Right.
that he would know that somebody was looking for him.
Yes. Or that's a theory, and mine's related to that.
Yeah.
Mine is he hates fucking crosses, right? Or anything consecrated or
Yeah.
holy.
Okay.
And so he's perversing them by knocking them down. This is the
Yeah.
doctor. Heidecker is his name. He's perversing them by turning them upside down. So like they don't hurt him, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe,
I can
yeah.
get behind that.
Yeah, because he has to go into that room every day and talk to that woman. I like the red herring idea better, I think.
Yeah.
But what I was thinking is that the doctor was doing it on purpose.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Though that woman has fucking daredevil powers to be able to tell that. Because
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I guess
if-
you could feel it.
Yeah, or if she hears someone like the scraping of the wooden crucifix
Yeah,
going
that's
upside
true.
down,
Yeah,
she's
all
like,
right,
"Oh,
all
someone's
right.
fucking with it again."
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah, she also, in her very first scene, they walk by and she just kind of like slowly turns her head.
Yeah,
And
it's it's as if the doctor came in and was like, "Hey, can you look creepy for like 5 minutes? Can you be terrifying?"
But all I could
please?"
think about was the grandmother from the Baker family in Resident Evil 7. How she just kind of like turns her head to look at you every time and follows you around.
Yeah.
And it's the creepiest thing of all time.
Yeah.
That, I will say, the scene where Sam and Dean are like going to go shoot her was I knew it was coming, and I was like, because the old woman, like, Dean gets very close to her face.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they could kiss. And the old woman's like, "Who's there?" And I was like, "Oh, God."
Who's trying to steal
That
my
was-
stuff?
Yeah.
I could feel it coming. I was just like waiting for it.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, she's going to start yelling at them.
Yeah.
Nothing is more satisfying than seeing Sam and Dean get yelled at. I don't know why that is. I just love it.
Well,
By,
it's,
like, strange old women.
it's like watching your other sibling get
Get
yelled
in
at.
trouble.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we please, let's start at the very beginning. I've heard it's a very good place to start.
Yeah.
Can we please talk about the openings that we have to sit through every goddamn week?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
This is
So bad.
'Cause
grueling.
I think I said something about it when it was going at
Yeah.
the beginning of it, because I recently watched one of the newest episodes of the show, and I'm like, fuck. I'm really glad they got better
get
and just
better.
streamlined the
Yeah.
fuck out of it.
Yes.
Because it takes so long. And do you think part of it was because they needed to fill up that airtime? Like they had to, because some of them are longer than others.
Yeah.
And I feel like they probably filmed a certain amount, but then they had to cut it down to such that they had to use that opening credit to fill in their broadcast time.
Well, what's crazy about it is, okay, we can see what's happening on screen, what the characters are doing, because it always starts with, like, the fire, you know, the first 10 minutes of the first episode,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
fire, Dean getting his brother out.
And then like little clips of them
Yeah.
piecing together the plot throughout the
the
series.
season,
Yeah.
what they do, blah, blah, blah. So we can see that, and, like, we know what's happening. But
Yeah.
then on the screen, there's text
Yeah.
that's like, two brothers on a journey to
Yeah,
find
that-
out what happened 22 years ago.
That
To
does
their
kill me.
mother.
Their mother died. Their father went on a quest.
And granted, it was like the first season of the show, and they were trying to hook people in.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's like that's their visual hook. I mean, I
Yeah.
probably would have been pretty enticed by that in 2004.
Well, it's like a
Oh,
step
I
above
absolutely
of
would have been, yeah.
in a world.
Yes.
yeah,
We're two
they couldn't-
brothers.
They couldn't get a guy to do the voiceover for that,
Yeah.
so they just put it on the screen.
Two brothers hunting down the demon who ruined their lives.
And their dad is nowhere to be seen.
Their dad sucks ass. And not in a good way. Yeah, but those openings do get better. Actually, I'm really looking forward to the end of season 1 where we get the great recap.
Yes.
Oh, Travis, you have so much to look forward to.
That's going to be in our season finale.
Yeah.
One of the best things of the show is the road so far.
The road so far.
The road thus taken.
Is that what happens at the end of every season? The last
Yes.
episode of every season?
Just about.
Most.
And then
yeah.
Carry
Yeah.
On My Wayward Son plays?
Yes.
Yes.
See?
Yes.
I know some things about this show.
Yeah. Oh man, can we talk about that opening scene with the little girl who is just
Yeah.
like
Okay,
that opening
there is
scene-
something with that I want to talk about.
Okay, tell me. Tell me.
But
about it.
you go first because it kind of happens in order.
That entire scene was to be like, look at this adorable little girl
Yeah.
and her caring, loving father.
And she's about to get fucked up.
She's about to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. It starts with a prayer. As
Yeah.
if trying to emphasize the fact that God isn't listening. Like, it is crazy.
It was something I want to say and a joke I can't make for like 10 seasons.
Damn.
We'll be there closer than you think. Sooner than you think.
Yeah.
Not closer. All right. Get it together, Kobler.
So with this the witch coming into the window, a big thing, and it's been a big trope in like horror movies, especially dealing with kids and
Yeah.
overactive imaginations. It's this big trope of like the wind knocking around tree branches
Right.
and making it hit the window. Where are these people not trimming their fucking trees?
Okay, yes.
Because
I have a note on that.
I live in a state, we all live in a state where we trim our fucking trees
Okay.
if they start rapping on our windows. Because that is a tornado hazard.
I wrote down, it's as if these people went to Party City and bought a fake Halloween tree to gently wrap the window.
Oh, I'm sure that's exactly what was happening,
Yes.
like, on the set. They
Yes.
had the silhouette of the branch, and then they just had, like, 2 interns holding these branches
Two
going...
PAs being
bip,
like,
bip,
boom,
bip,
boom,
bip,
boom.
bip, bip, bip.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that's exactly what was happening.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, like, this trope kills me every time. Because, like, because, like, the city will trim trees if they are, like, getting close to power lines. And, like... My dad owns a tree trimmer. I've used it a lot because guess what? Trees kept hitting my fucking window, and I was tired of that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to talk about something that you mentioned at the end of the episode, because every time the Striga is about to come into their room, it doesn't just pop in, right?
Yeah.
It's not the fucking
like,
neighbor
very,
It's not Kramer.
very slowly, it like reaches its weird tree
Yeah, it's
hand.
like...
Because like part of it is like kind of camouflaging itself with the tree.
Right.
Yeah.
Its hand
Which-
is like
So
long,
Yeah.
spindly,
Well, it's like
in the
good
episode
piano hands.
in the episode they pinpoint like the places where these kids have gotten attacked. It's all around the hospital. I also think it's where the most untrimmed trees are.
yeah, in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay. I'm gonna go back in time. I'm gonna become a writer on Supernatural. And I'm gonna add one line and then travel back for you guys. And it's gonna be, weird that all the places the Striga's attacking is around, trees.
Yeah. But yeah, so it has this kind of like camouflage. Did it only have 4 fingers, like a thumb and 3?
Yeah, it looked like that.
It kind of looked.
Well,
it looked very non-human.
Yeah.
The
Because
image.
the fingers were also very long.
Yeah.
Each of those fingers is probably a foot long.
Each of those fingers was the length of my fucking, arm.
Yeah.
The imagery from the Striga really reminded me of the rake, the creepypasta about that thing.
Yeah.
Or, yes.
Or salad fingers.
Yeah, the hands did remind me
Yeah,
of
but
salad
so it
fingers.
was
Yeah.
like creep up real slow and unlatch the window and then push it open and very slowly get in there.
Yeah.
Well, there is like the. Don't ask me how I know this, but you can use like a knife to undo a window.
Do
Undo
you
like a
think
lock
its
on a window.
weird fingernails are able to do that?
Yes, I think that's what the shtick of that
You
was.
think you just used magic, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a witch. I don't know.
Locked us, unlocked us.
No, Alohomora.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ben.
That went exactly the way I wanted it
Obviously.
to. Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to start talking about Harry Potter later on.
Oh, cool. So am I. Actually, I'm not. But I'm going to talk about witches. Also, can we talk about the first time we see the Striga? Because I was like, ooh, girl.
In the cold open?
Moisturizer. Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, girl, get some Pantene, like something.
Yeah.
It was like a bad turkey.
Neutrogena.
It was
Yeah.
a bad
What
giant
did you
Yeah.
say? You
turkey.
said something about Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah, I was like,
Yes,
is this?
It's Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah, just stealing souls.
Yeah, Emperor Palpatine breaking in, stealing kids'
Being
souls.
very uncomfortable over children.
Yeah.
This episode wasn't so much scary as it just was uncomfortable.
It was very uncomfortable. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it had this, monster just leaning over children very closely.
At the end, when Sam is getting his life essence sucked out,
Yeah.
you and I, Travis, were both like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, 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 no.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely like a kiss of life situation.
Like, I get uncomfortable when people are, like, not even that close to me.
Yeah.
It did kind of look like a Dementor from Harry Potter as well.
That's exactly what I was
Yeah.
going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say is we're about to start talking about where the Striga comes from soon. And that's what I feel like the Dementor J.K. Rowling took inspiration from to make her Dementors. Because it's that same situation. It's a creepy, like, black-cloaked, spindly monster that crawls up on you and sucks your life essence out.
I bet.
Kind of.
Kinda?
Strigas don't actually suck life essence.
Oh, yeah? Are
But
there
we'll
any,
get to that in a little
Yeah,
bit.
are there any more thoughts on the episode before we start talking about
Oh,
the
I have a
monster?
lot of thoughts on the episode.
yeah?
We haven't even begun.
Oh,
It's true.
We're just beginning.
Oh, is there a page 2 of those notes?
No, but
Okay.
we have to talk about.
Oh, that's right. John Winchester's A+ parenting.
Yes. John Winchester's A's Plus Paradise.
If this was
But-
a video podcast, I would have put big, like, spinny words like
Yeah.
John. Blah, 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 blah.
Can we talk about the cutest thing that happened in the episode? It
was
was
it?
so
Yeah, it was in the
cute.
flashback, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I died. So Tiny Sam is being served
SpaghettiOs.
and he goes, "I don't want any more spaghetti." Spaghettios.
And more Skibettios.
It was so cute. I was like, "Oh my god, I want to take you home. You're so tiny.
Okay,
I want to put you on a shelf."
I will say it's pretty cute, like, in the context of media.
Yes.
But that was, like, a pet peeve of mine when I was that age.
Yes.
I've always called things by their proper name. I always have, even as a kid.
You never misspoke as a kid?
No, not really.
Okay. Well,
Like,
I did
mean,
a
like,
lot, so.
probably, but my parents said I was always very, like, proper with my grammar and stuff.
Look, I couldn't pronounce the word cinnamon until I was like 13.
Wow.
So, wow, don't judge, all right? No, it's actually a pet peeve of mine in fiction, too, when it's overused. Because
Right.
kids are not idiots. Like, sometimes it's just like,
It's like,
Overdone.
look at how naive this child is because
Yes.
they can't pronounce anything
look at how
right.
cute and tiny and angelic this child is, and that they're just like talking like they're doing baby talk, and
Yeah.
I do hate that. But every
Yeah.
once in a while, I think it's just very cute.
But this
Yeah.
was a cute moment because
Yeah.
it was like, oh, here's 10-year-old Dean looking after 6-year-old Sam.
yeah,
And they're just, doing their best.
yeah, it's kind of sad,
Yeah.
cute.
I wasn't even. My parents didn't-
Spaghettios.
My parents didn't leave me alone,
Spaghettios.
like with my sister or alone in general, until I was like 11, 12, 13, maybe 12 or 13. Yeah.
I started babysitting when I was 11 or 12,
Yeah.
but like babysitting other people's kids.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think 10's kind of young. Well, and it's also young, especially when you're like, oh, this isn't the first time it's happened.
Oh, absolutely.
He's saying Dean.
Like, this has been
it's-
happening since Dean was probably like 5 years old.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I want to talk about some like things. I want to bring up some plot holes, or not necessarily plot holes, but I want to see what you guys think about them.
Mm-hmm.
In the flashback, when the Striga attacks Sam, and when he's a kid, and then he busts out of the closed window.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why is that window closed?
I don't think it was completely closed. I think it was open enough for the Striga to get in, but in the Striga's haste to leave, it just busted through the whole window instead
Okay.
of exiting through
It
the
looked
small hole it
very
made.
closed.
It did look closed, but I think that's what the
Well, I just
thing
wanted
was.
an image of like the Striga opens and it's like, oh, I better shut this window just in case. Don't want him to catch a cold.
But even if it was closed, when Dean came back to his hotel room, was the door unlocked?
No.
I
The
don't
door was
remember.
locked.
Okay.
The front door, no, that was locked. He had to reopen that.
There is no way
but
that
if-
Dean at the age of 10 would have not. Well, it was also a motel room, so it just locks automatically.
Yeah,
No, he had to lock it himself.
Oh, yeah.
because it was one of those that had a
locked.
key and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like an old-timey motel
Yeah,
room.
before key cards existed.
We are talking about an invulnerable monster. It's not going to
That's
give a fuck
true.
about diving through a window.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. That's
Yeah.
not the problem with it. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that, like,
Like, how did it
in
get in?
every
Yeah.
other situation, it
Yeah.
opened the window and left the window open. Because we hear kids talk about it. The reason
Right.
why Michael is like, it's my fault that Asher's sick.
Because the
again,
window is
parallel
open.
for Dean.
I should have latched
Yeah, I
the
should have
window.
made sure the window was latched. Or in the father in the beginning who has the two daughters, because the cold open, it's the two girls, right?
Yeah.
Who are in the hospital. They're like, I mean, I guess they got it from the open. I guess they got pneumonia from the open window. Like, I thought it was closed, but she must have opened it herself. And so in every other case, it didn't leave the window closed. But I just love the idea. It's like, it's in the Striga's early days. It's not quite as practice.
Yeah.
It's very polite. It just loves to close windows and make sure everybody's, stays warm and shit.
But yeah,
It also turned on the light in Sam's bedroom.
It did?
Yeah.
Oh, it did.
Because Sam, when we look, Sam was like, Striga was like, look, I've got bad eyesight.
Did it turn on the light, or
It
was the
did.
light still on?
No, the light. They turned on the light.
Are you
That's
sure?
how Dean knew that something was up.
Oh, okay.
Because Sam's bedroom was slightly open and the light was on.
Right,
So the
okay.
Striga closed the door most of the way and turned on the light.
Huh.
Because when he left, the light was off and the door was open.
Right. Okay.
Was baby Sam laying sideways on the bed in that scene?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Which also means the Striga moved him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or he's just one of those weird kids that sleeps at weird angles.
I was like that.
Well,
Yeah.
in the scene, okay, the scene before Dean leaves where he looks in on Sam, Sam is tucked in normally.
Yeah.
Under the covers, sleeping, lights off, door open.
Yeah.
Which means the Striga went through its whole hiss, finger thing. Opened the window, turned around, closed the window, mostly shut the door, turned on the light, repositioned Sam, and then started sucking out its soul. It had a process, is all I'm saying.
Well, maybe it was when the Striga was younger and it had more energy to do that stuff.
I guess. Yeah, it was younger.
Yeah.
More immortal.
Uh-huh.
I just,
Yeah, that's how immortality works,
I
right?
just love that. I just love that.
That
The
he-
Striga was like, I mean, I'm peckish, but I'm not like super hungry.
Yeah.
It would have had to made the bed and then like
Yeah.
Sam back
Yeah,
down.
that's-
How heavy of a sleeper was Sam?
Oh God, he
Probably
must have
very
slept
deep.
like the dead.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay, and then the other plot hole-ish thing that I have is that Sam is 6,
Yeah.
right? At the youngest 5.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember things from when you were 6? Not everything, obviously.
There's like the biggest things I can remember.
Okay, I feel like it's pretty big when you nearly die because a witch comes into your room and tries to
Yeah.
kill you, and
Well,
your brother
Sam didn't
rushes in with a
realize that he
shotgun.
nearly died.
Yeah. That's a big
Yeah.
thing.
All
I don't
all
know.
Sam knew is that he was woken up by guns.
I don't even think he knew that.
Sam, yeah.
Okay. My whole thing is
Because
that Sam doesn't seem to remember this at all.
I think Sam was unconscious until the Striga was like vanished.
Yeah.
Okay. So he woke up and his dad was clutching him.
Yeah.
The window was broken. Dean was there with a shotgun and he was just like, this is normal.
I mean, probably.
Yeah, no, that wasn't me
John
making a
Winchester's
joke.
A+
That was me
parenting.
being like,
Yeah.
this is normal
Yeah.
for them. Real quick before we get into like the stuff,
Yeah.
and I mean the stuff.
The stuff.
Any other general thoughts about this episode, like,
Yeah.
dislike, that sort of thing?
I got a goddamn qualm.
A qualm?
Yes. It's a trope, as you went through earlier with the tree branches, things that piss me off in shows and movies. It happens when somebody throws a punch. It happens right before somebody shoots somebody. If you yell out, hey, and you're sneaking up on somebody and you want to make contact and make sure you hit the person, just throw the punch or pull the fucking trigger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't say hey.
Don't
first.
say, hey, jackass. Just pull the fucking trigger.
That's an anime thing where it's like,
Yeah.
spirit gun!
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
Why do you have to telegraph your attacks?
Exactly.
Yeah.
At the end, when Sam and Dean are going after the Striga, you just hear Sam yell, hey, and then they start shooting, which was long enough for the Striga to apparently turn back on at its invulnerability.
Well, it only is
Yeah.
invulnerable when it's eating.
That's-
So if
yeah.
it's not
So it's
doing the
only
soul
vulnerable
sucky
when it's
thing,
eating.
or it's only vulnerable when it's eating, yeah. So if it's not doing the soul sucky thing, it's
Yeah.
not invulnerable.
Right. So why
So
say
yeah,
hey?
that was a terrible decision.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Sam.
Goddamn.
You deserve to have your soul stolen almost.
Yeah.
Nobody,
Man, that's
nobody deserves that.
yeah.
But whatever.
that was the hill I die on.
Another thing is that
Drink.
this witch is super into its aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like most demons and most monsters are. They
Yeah.
are all about aesthetic. Yu Yu Hakusho taught me one thing.
Yes.
Monsters are all about aesthetic. And this witch, the Striga, is all about looking like a tree.
Yeah.
And creeping into windows and wearing a big old cloak.
Yeah.
And then sucking out souls.
I would kind of like.
I think there's a little bit of an allusion to this story. mainly with like the tale of immortality and things like that. And the name kind of sounds similar.
What is the story?
Dr. Heidegger's experiment. The guy somehow figures out the immortality because he is given the water of the fountain of youth.
And the doctor is named Dr. Heidegger,
Yeah.
who is immortal.
It's spelled Heideggers.
Oh, okay. A little different.
Yeah.
But it's a homophone.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely could be a reference.
Yeah.
And maybe the captions just spelled it wrong.
Maybe.
I think that's.
I don't. With what we saw today, that's a fair possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
that's
captions, so like we always mention, we watch this show with the captions on.
Because we're 1/6 deaf.
Yeah. And but there would be moments where a name would pop up, like someone would say, okay, have a good night.
What, Michael?
Michael, yeah, but it would say the character would just say have a good night.
Yeah.
But then it'd be comma Michael or hey Michael, comma, have a good night.
Yeah.
And I think it was just because for people that are actually hearing impaired and deaf, to give them context of what character is talking to who. Because like we see in like helicopter shots of or far away shots of the car where you can't see Sam and Dean's lips moving, it says like Sam saying this, Dean
Right.
saying this. And so I think that was a more subtle way of saying
This is the character
this
they're
character,
referring to.
they're referring to this character.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Things we liked about this episode.
I liked the monster.
The monster was fun. It looked cool. The flashback scenes were cool because sometimes like flashbacks are just there for no reason.
Yeah.
But for like exposition and everything like that, I thought that was cool.
I thought the monster was very threatening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially in the fact that it targets children.
Yeah.
That was.
It was freaky.
Yeah, and it we mentioned this in our episode about Dead in the Water. Dean is actually very good with dealing with kids.
Yeah.
And I feel like Dean has a soft spot for kids. And so I think that's one of the reasons Dean was so driven to figure out this mystery, because it was kids that were being in trouble.
Yeah. Well, and also just the fact that he feels like he's failed. He feels responsible
Right, yeah,
for
he-
all the kids who
yeah,
have
he's-
died since the Striga escaped
Right.
back when, they were kids. Which we'll talk about more in our John Winchester sitting on section. So,
Strap in.
yeah. But, yeah, I also liked, we got to see some, like, brotherly,
Yeah.
teasing.
Come
Good
together.
emotional moments.
Specifically, I want to talk about the bikini inspector scene.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Sam walks in, and he's like, they're walking to the hospital. They're being like, hey, we're from the CDC. And Sam's like, I'm not using this fucking...
I'm not using this
It
fake
says
ID.
bikini inspector. And Dean's like, it'll be fine.
She's not
It's
going to
very
look at
funny.
it. She's
Yeah.
not going to ask to look at it.
Yeah.
And she does.
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sam's just like, here it is. All right, bye-bye. Like,
And he like covers up a picture too.
yeah, he was just like, boop, out and gone.
Okay, that's me. It almost makes me wish that something like psychic paper existed in this world.
Oh, yeah, that would
So
be cool.
Yeah, because it'd be way easier for them.
Yes. But alas.
Alas.
It is not. Not yet.
So,
I'm just throwing that out there to mess with people who haven't seen the show.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
you guys want to talk about John Winchester?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
talk about
let's-
John Winchester's A+ parenting.
It's an A+ hole.
Okay. So we're all agreed that John Winchester's a piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
I think he had his moments, but I think they were just like nuggets of gold in the turd.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty common for like all abusive relationships.
Yeah.
Is that you'll have the abused look back fondly on the times that they were,
Not being abused.
yes. Because look at it this way. When you've gone so long without bread, you crave crumbs,
Yeah.
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So like, and that's, I don't have anything else to say other than that, but about that. But,
In a positive way.
yes.
So let's lay on the thickness of the badness.
John definitely set up Sam to be bait
Oh, absolutely.
when he
Yeah.
was 6.
Yeah.
That was very obvious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, like, he knew that if he was gone for an extended period of time, Dean would start getting cabin fever, and he'd want to leave, which John Winchester may have even opened the window for the Striga to come in.
He was the reason why it's so clear is one, it parallels very well with what Dean and Sam have to do for Michael.
Yeah.
Right? And two, John is right there when he's attacked.
Yeah, right
he
before.
comes in and he's like, my gun is at the ready. There is
Yeah.
no way he could have known unless he set it up.
Absolutely.
It's just no way.
Like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have, like, a dad Spidey sense.
No.
A John Winchester Spidey sense where he's like, my kids are in trouble.
Away!
Yeah.
Dad, form activate! Yeah, it's just not possible.
Because that'd be going off all the time.
And that doesn't even get into just the general neglect of leaving your children in a hotel room for days when they're that young.
Yeah.
Putting on a 10-year-old the responsibility of a parent, leaving them without enough food or healthy food.
Yeah.
I mean, their options were SpaghettiOs and Lucky Charms.
At least they had some milk.
Yeah.
Got to build up them bones.
Yeah.
So that they're strong when they're broken later by demons.
Yep.
I got two things about John setting them up, and about Sam and Dean talking to Michael about being okay about being used as bait. If they had just done what their dad had done, it may have gone more more smooth, because he didn't let them know or clue them into the plan. Because they knew the thing was coming from Michael. If they had just set up the nanny cam while he was out and about helping people in the hotel, and just set that up and then just waited.
See, I feel like that's what makes them different, though.
Yeah.
They asked for Michael's permission.
That's what makes them better.
That is what makes them
Yeah.
better, but you got to give it to Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I mean, he knew how to fucking set a trap with his kids.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
But no,
okay.
I do understand the
Yeah.
whole, like, being more honest and open. But that
Giving
way,
them the choice,
Yeah.
preparing them if something goes south.
Yeah.
because if they had gone the way of John Winchester, they may not have had to explain to the kid about the supernatural. And he wouldn't have mayhaps not needed therapy.
Okay, let's put this in real world terms, which we
Okay.
can definitely do in Alabama. And go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and put a trigger warning on this. I'm going to be talking about some uncomfortable child abuse, sexual molestation.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Let's pretend that I am a parent
Okay.
and I want to catch a child molester.
Okay.
So I leave a child as bait.
All right.
I don't tell them what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I just expect everything to work out.
Yeah, I see your point.
Chances are
Yeah.
it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, has happened in Alabama. Just so everybody's clear. All right.
Yeah.
Untriggered warning. What I'm saying is that it is never a good idea to put a child in danger like that.
That's very true.
It is never a good idea.
Yeah.
However, the least you can do is inform them of the situation.
Yeah.
Do everything you can to protect them. Other difference is John was not there for days.
Yeah.
He left them alone for days.
So-
they had no way of knowing that he was coming back if shit went south.
Yeah.
Sam and Dean were right outside the room. They were watching the entire time.
Yeah.
We have no indication that that's what happened with John.
Exactly.
And as we said earlier, the Striga must have been there for at least a minute or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it took so long to crawl in the window.
Yeah. And, had to turn on the lights and shut the door and
Make the bed.
make the bed, move Sam. Like, it's, yeah.
Yeah.
So John could have been right on the other side of the door, ready to pounce. And instead he left it to his son.
Yeah. But I think
Who picked up a shotgun that was about the same size as him.
Yeah.
Almost as tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it had been a full barrel, stock shotgun, it would have been just as tall as him.
Yeah.
The way that John did it, he didn't give Sam any chance to escape.
Yeah.
He didn't. Because, again, major difference. Dean was like, hey, man, as soon as we're in the room, you get under the bed. You get out of that situation.
Yeah.
Sam had no idea what was happening, was asleep, and had no way to protect himself.
Yeah.
Like, what Sam and Dean did was not good. However, it is worlds different from what
Yeah.
John did to them as children.
Yeah. It was Streets Ahead.
Sorry, I have a lot of feelings about this. Because I hate seeing children in danger.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I think that's, like you said, that's why this episode is so
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
also so good in that same sense because
Yeah.
it succeeds in making you uncomfortable.
Yes. And then the catharsis comes when Dean unloads a clip into the Striga.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, not that I needed any more reason to just be like, fuck, John, Jesus Christ, on a handbasket.
Yeah.
Well, we are talking about a Vietnam veteran
Yes.
whose wife died in a goddamn fire while, like, just on the ceiling.
Yes.
He's not going to be thinking clearly. I'm not trying to defend the man. I'm just saying if CPS existed at the time,
CPS existed at the time.
well, if they had gotten that paperwork,
Yes.
Yeah.
Sam and Dean would be leading different lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the true like tragedy of John Winchester is that he let revenge take the place of his
Yeah.
sons.
All for revenge.
Yeah.
And a good one, too. You need to play MGS5, god
Okay.
damn it.
Okay.
But the crux of the video game is that revenge is a terrible thing to waste your life on.
Yes.
Much like John Winchester.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Much like Dean and Sam.
Yeah. Because when you're driven by revenge, you may just accidentally start a billion-dollar burger chain.
If that happened, that would have been amazing.
No, that actually happens in that game.
Yeah.
Right. I'm saying if it happened in Supernatural.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's a character in Metal
Oh,
Gear
kinda
Solid
does.
5, and his name is Kazuhira Miller.
Uh-huh.
But in the very first game he's introduced, they call him MacDonald Miller. Like, Kazuhiro MacDonald Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And in this game, which is supposed to, like, bring everything full circle, there's a series of audio recordings with him talking to this guy and they're talking about how to make the best burger in the world. And, like, the best tasting burger ever. And he spends thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars making like a delicious burger that's all natural and all healthy and like it's all the best of everything. And the dude's like, no, that's not the best burger. I want a burger like I remember when I was a kid. It's got to be made of like chemicals and shit.
Yep.
And so,
So it's Ron Swanson versus Chris Traeger,
Yeah.
a la
Yes.
Parks and Rec.
And so he basically invents McDonald's to make this burger for this guy because it's the 70s.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
it's like the 60s and 70s.
You would love the story around MGS5.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
it
don't
is-
know how you would feel about the gameplay, but
I mean, I'll check it out. I
Yeah.
will check it out.
If anything, I'll buy it and you can watch me play it.
Yeah.
it's like $20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Probably cheaper. Black Friday, $10.
Yeah.
probably.
Anyway, back on topic.
I actually think about John Winchester a lot in my own life because...
Really?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I don't hate Bruce Wayne, and he does something very similar. And so I have, like, rationalized why they're different and why it's okay for me to like Bruce and not like John. Whatever.
Bruce isn't surrounded by like things from different dimensions and like things as old as time. Also, I don't,
Hell as old as time.
To be fair, he does have a giant mechanical dinosaur in
Yeah.
the Batcave that his son, at the very first meeting, almost dies in.
Wow.
And has to be saved by his other son, Tim Drake.
Wait, which son saves which son?
Tim Drake saves Damian Wayne.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's
I love that you just knew that name.
Yeah, because you have been drilling it into my head since we moved in.
You're welcome. Yeah, okay.
fucking nerds.
I'm going to spare you guys an hour-long conversation on Damian Wayne and the relationship that he has with Tim Drake.
Yeah.
For now. Travis will be talking later. Anyways, when I said spare you guys, I meant spare the listeners.
Yeah, I know.
Where were we?
John Winchester is a PO6.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah, I just...
we don't have much longer until we're introduced to who I think really raised them.
Yes, true.
Is
As
it-
much as he could.
Is it
Yeah.
Pastor Jim? They mentioned Pastor
Good
Jim.
guess,
Yeah?
but no.
No?
They've actually mentioned 2 side characters this season Caleb and Pastor Jim.
Caleb.
Caleb was in the Shadow episode.
Yeah.
He's who Dean calls
Oh,
to figure out
okay.
about the Deva.
That's right. Okay.
Because they're setting up, they're showing like that there is a network
Yes.
of people
Right.
working
there
together.
are
with
other
this.
people in their lives other than
It's
John.
not just the
Yeah.
Sam and Dean show.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just the Sam and Dean show, but
It
there are
is-
other
For
that's
now.
the whole show.
Yes.
It's the Sam
Yeah.
and Dean show.
Sam and Dean. It's their
Ba-da-ba.
show. Da 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 da. Bow.
Nice.
Any other thoughts about John Winchester?
No.
I can feel you want to defend him.
It's not that I want to defend him. It's just that I'm thinking of like how he rationalized the plan in his head to use them as bait.
Oh, I know
'Cause-
how he rationalized the plan.
It's more like, all right, where did he park so Dean wouldn't see the car?
Yeah.
Because it's not like he parked in front of it and stayed out there.
No.
Dean would have seen him when he went to the arcade. Mm-hmm. He's either like, maybe he's around back. That would have been maybe better so he could see the Striga trying to go in, but the Striga would have seen him.
Yeah.
There's too many ins and outs and ups and downs for this to work. It's just bad plan on his idea. I'm just saying,
Maybe
like,
he
yeah.
invented technology to turn his car invisible.
A la Wonder Woman's jet.
Yeah. Or the Weasley's car.
Now, if he had done that, would it be like a la Wonder Woman where it's just him floating around on the streets?
Why was that ever a thing with Wonder Woman?
Because that's the joke. Because only the jet was invisible.
Yeah.
She wasn't.
Yeah, why was that ever a thing?
I can't answer that question
Because
for
it's
you.
funny and stupid.
It
That's
is funny
why.
and stupid.
I will
Yeah.
say at MomoCon they had a big display of like a whole bunch of like vehicles from fiction. Like there was a Mystery Machine and the DeLorean and the Ghostbusters hearse. And then there was a big empty section that someone just put up a sign that said Wonder Woman's invisible jet. And I was just like,
Nice.
I'm going to tell you the Silver Age of comics was a crazy time for everybody, okay?
Yeah,
That's
I
all I'm
bet.
going to say.
I bet.
Supergirl dated a horse. It was fucking nuts,
Whoa!
okay?
It's not
I gotta-
bestiality.
I gotta
No,
read.
it was not.
I gotta read this comic.
I got to get my hands on that. Yeah, so TLDR, John Winchester, not a very good father.
Grade A parenting.
Yeah, John Winchester's A+ parenting. He just, I mean, I think it's clear in the flashbacks and the majority of the show, like, that shows their childhood. He's just not there.
Yeah.
He left the parenting to Dean, and Dean probably did his best.
Yeah.
But, like,
He's still a kid.
he's still a kid and it shouldn't be on him,
Yeah.
you know, to take care of his brother like that.
I think we're going to see later on. I don't remember how much farther we're going to get, but I do remember there's one episode where we do really get to see Sam and Dean be kids.
Yeah.
But it's like you were talking about earlier with like abusive situations and relationships. Those nuggets are few and far between
Yeah.
if they exist at all. But c'est la vie, the life of a hunter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because what we're seeing, because what you see with a lot of other tales of like monster hunting is that it's romanticized.
Yeah.
That it's this wonderful thing and it makes you want to do it.
Yeah.
But we're watching in actuality what the fuck happens.
Like, what if it were to happen in real life?
Yeah.
It's not totally realistic, right? Because you do have stuff like they escape the police so many times, the credit card scams, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Which is probably like it's probably harder to commit a crime and escape. I don't know. I'm not a fucking criminal. But yeah, if we lived in a world where the supernatural existed and John and we had kids and had to chart them, like, it would be shitty. You would not do this for fun.
Yeah.
It would be awful. You would see horrific things every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds fucking nuts.
Yeah.
You guys think this show and the X-Files exist in the same universe?
No.
No.
Why?
Because they make reference to it. like Sam and Dean literally make.
Well,
reference to
I mean like directly, but like maybe the fact that the government has a division on dealing with the monsters, because if it's happening on this level, they have to be in the know about it, right?
I mean, maybe not. That's the thing about the supernatural. It's so much more unknown than like aliens are.
But that's what
Aliens show up and they're like, "Hey, what the fuck's up? Hey, Lamau." And then that is literally an X-Files reference.
Yeah, it is.
If
And the supernatural is like sneaking around in the shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if the government knows about the supernatural, it is.
Why am I not able to fuck a ghost right now? Sorry.
That's a tough question.
I got off on a tangent.
Well, the T in Hey Assbutt does stand for tangent.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Travis, ghosts are ephemeral, don't really have a form.
Oh,
I don't know what kind of stimulation you would need.
but what if they did?
Actually, there is a bunch of speculation on how you would fuck a ghost. I can point you guys to some websites if you're curious. So,
Yeah.
Is it spectralization?
hey, bang.
Stand by
Anyway.
Okay, real quick. If the government knows, it's a very small section of the government.
Yeah.
They sure has diddly done a thing about it.
Yeah.
Sure as diddly haven't done a thing about it, diddly.
I think they're at the point where they're just observing it. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I think.
I don't think the government knows.
I would like to think they do, but I gotta guess that you're right, though.
Yeah. Just because from the show.
Yeah.
It would be kind of cool if the show at one point did introduce like, yeah, we're creating a division to regulate hunters. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Have a little bit of like a Civil War thing going on.
I'm not gonna spoil anything for you.
The Marvel movie Civil War, not the actual historical event.
Nah, that happens. Not in the way that you describe, but it does happen.
Interesting.
Yeah. But it's we need to just finish the show.
Okay.
If we could just record every day in like 6 episodes, yeah, that totally spoils
Yeah.
the episode. How we do this.
Oh, God. Yeah.
We don't record every day because we have lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I live an hour away, so yeah.
Yeah, there's also that.
Maybe one of these days.
No,
Yeah. Probably not.
probably not.
Probably not.
That would, like, if there were, like, if we just wanted to run through a bunch of Freak of the Week episodes at once, we could do that.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
But not right now.
No.
Do you guys want to talk about some Striga?
Yeah. Tell me about
Yeah.
this Striga.
Alrighty.
Tell me about it.
One of my favorite things to do with the Freak of the Week section is to look at what Supernatural did that's different from the lore.
Right.
Yeah.
How wrong or right they got it.
Yes, and this is a bit of a mix.
Yeah?
It's not like the Deva where it was just like, whoa, where did all this come from?
Yeah.
And it's not like last week where they were like, with the Tulpa, where they were like, this is spot fucking on.
Right.
It's
It's kind of
something,
loosely based in correctness.
Yeah.
The first major thing they changed is that Striga do not suck out life essence. They're vampires.
Oh, okay.
They drink
Oh,
blood.
Blood.
Okay.
But no network show was going to show an adult man drinking a child's blood. I don't give a shit who
Yeah,
you are.
that
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Also, there are male and female Strigas.
It was the thing where they target children, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
They target specifically infants, small children while they sleep, and then to escape, they turn into an insect.
Oh.
Usually a bee, moth, or fly.
Neat.
Yeah, so it is an Albanian vampire witch. They were right about that. And they were also, like, kind of right about the ancient Rome thing when Dean is like, well, or Sam's like, yeah, but they're recording something from ancient Rome because Rome took over what is now current Albania and its
took over
conquest.
everything.
Yeah, all of Europe, really. And that during that time it was, and I'm going to fuck this up because I didn't write it down, the Illyrians? Urians? I don't know. But yeah, so there have been like the Albanian myth has been going on forever.
Right.
But they do target babies. And there are male Striga, those are called Strigu.
Okay.
Has a U ending. Only the end of the episode where all the kids get saved. Yeah, that would not happen.
Oh, yeah.
Because only the Striga herself can cure the people she drains, usually by spitting into their mouth.
Go.
Yeah.
Gross. How would do you have to convince a Striga to do that?
I actually don't know how that would be.
I feel like you would have to like solve a riddle or something
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get that to happen.
I didn't find any stories about what you would do when that happens, but Edith Durham, who was a pretty famous English explorer and spent a lot of time in the Balkans and Albania researching like mythology there, she says that there were records of Striga after draining blood from their victims going straight off to the woods to regurgitate it.
What?
Yeah. So
That-
it's not even that it needs it to survive. Strigas are just dicks.
Yeah, it just likes to drink blood.
Yeah, I don't know.
God.
So maybe if you were like, hey, stop being a fucking dick, come cure my kid, they'd be down.
Huh.
So they're just bulimic vampires.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe blood to them is like alcohol.
Yeah.
Where they drink all this blood and then they're like,
Well,
It's
and
like
it's
tequila.
actually
Yeah.
kind of because when you get into like why Strigas exist, it kind of almost as if the blood thing is just incidental. They're just doing it to get revenge.
Yeah.
Because it says a Striga isn't born evil, but becomes that way after losing a child or being unable to have children themselves, and they get envious.
okay.
So it could just
So
be
it's a bit of a Wendigo situation.
yeah, like these were just normal people.
Okay.
And then, they couldn't have kids or they lost their kids.
And they literally got taken over by envy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it says that a strong belief in God will keep that from happening.
Okay.
As with most things.
Yes. And then also the kids getting sick afterwards as opposed to immediately dying. That's also a Striga thing where the kids, if it's not cured by the spitting in the mouth, the kids will fall into a coma and die.
Okay.
Yeah. So, which in the episode is, symptoms much like pneumonia.
So, about the spitting in the mouth thing, does it actually have to be like spat into the mouth, or can you hunt down this Striga and get its saliva and just pour it into your child's mouth?
It was not that specific.
Okay.
You were really planning for the future. You're like, if I ever have a kid and he gets attacked by a Striga, I'm gonna need to fucking
Hey man,
know.
maybe I'm thinking about moving to Bulgaria. Home of Victor Crumb.
Another thing Supernatural got right was the look of the Striga.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of one on a website I went to, and it was spot fucking on. I'll go ahead and put that in the show notes because it was amazing. Dark cloak, the face was grayish and the same. According to the website I went to, Striga can appear usually as middle-aged women with pale eyes, usually blue or green, and a crooked nose. They have the evil eye, and looking at them is supposed to make you uncomfortable.
That
Cool.
sounds like the Slayer fan from the
Yes.
hospital.
Yeah. She had that
Yes.
evil eye.
Yeah. That's pretty much where the similarities end.
Yeah.
Because what they left out in the Supernatural episode is that you can kill a Striga. It's not just immortal until it's feeding.
Okay. Is it immortal in general? And it's still killable? Like, it'll live on forever, but you can still kill it?
Yeah, it's like the
once
elves
it's
in the
killed,
Lord
it
of
will
the
die?
Rings.
Okay.
But supposedly what you can do is if you make a cross of pig's bone and place it at the entrance of a church on Easter Sunday, you can trap the Striga there. What the Striga's doing at a church, I don't know. Maybe it's a twice-a-year Christian.
Yeah.
Who knows? But you can trap a Striga there, and then while it's at the door, you can kill it. You can also protect yourself using a silver coin soaked in blood and then wrapped in a cloth. And you can protect children from the evil eye, and this was the cutest fucking thing I've ever read in my life.
Yeah.
You can protect children from the evil eye by going up to them, booping them on the nose, and then saying Mashahala, which means God has willed.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Isn't that so
that is
fucking
very
cute?
cute.
Yeah, I died when I read that. I died.
Yeah.
You can also kill a...
Masha Apso.
Oh, thank you.
You what?
Wow, you didn't even say it right.
Did not say that right at
You
all.
probably gave me a hex.
Shamalama ding dong.
Oh my god.
All right. And that is Islam. One of the cool things is that because... Or Arabic. Shut up. Okay. One of the cool things about like that area is that the Balkans is that a lot of that area is a mix of like Christianity and Islam. So the myths are influenced by both, which I think is kind of
that is neat.
because in Islamic myth, Striga can be banished or killed by saying a verse of the Quran. In the Catholic myth, they can be destroyed using holy water.
Okay.
So yeah, Striga's pretty fucking easy to kill.
Neat.
That's red.
Yeah.
That thing with the kids actually reminded me of this time when my family, we were taking this big trip. We were all in the Mediterranean area, and we were in Turkey for a couple days. We went to Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Well, that's nobody's business but the Turks, but continue.
We were there, and we went to like the Grand Bazaar and everything like that. We were walking around the marketplace, and I have 3 nieces that are younger than me. The oldest one was born in 2000, and so on and so forth. And so the youngest one, I think at the time, was only like 5 or 6 years old. Yeah. And they're all blonde, like platinum blonde hair. And everyone in this market, if they were passing by and they got near one of my cousins, they'd like just tap them on the shoulder or kind of flick their hair or something. And my aunt was freaking out about this. She was like, "What is going on? What is this?" And then we're finally stopped at this one section of the market for a while because there's this guy, super charismatic. I think he's very good at talking to tourists because he's explaining all kinds of stuff to us, and he's trying to sell us fake watches. And that's real. We like both my parents and my aunt and uncle all bought fake watches from him, like fake Rolexes. But he was telling he had a whole bunch of jewelry, and it was all really cool. But as he was like talking to my dad, and my dad will talk to anyone, so that's why we were hanging out for so long. While they were talking, my aunt kind of perks up, and she's like, "Hey, why do all these people keep touching my kids? Not like, why do they keep like reaching out and like touching their hair?" It's like, having a blonde kid is like good luck, and like doing that is like it's like a good luck kind of thing. And so I think some of it might have been like the instead of touching them on the nose, they were just doing kids. That. Yeah.
Booping those kids on the nose. Well, it's believed that babies, children, and pretty girls are especially susceptible to the evil eye. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You got to put on those extra protections. So. Yeah.
Now, Travis, I have seen your family, and I think the other marketplace goers that day may have pointed them out and said, they might be giants.
Wow. Rude. I mean, you apologize to Travis.
We are all very tall. Yeah. Like, even my mom and my sister, like my mom is like 5'7" and my sister is 5'6". We're all very tall people. So he's not wrong, but also we weren't like, it wasn't like we were in China.
Yeah. Or Japan.
Yeah.
I was making a pun on the band name.
Yeah, I know.
I got there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
I know.
Right.
Not everyone in Turkey is short.
Yeah. I hear it's a jive place,
We ruined that
though.
pun.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
God.
Yeah. We ruined it.
You didn't ruin that other one, though. Yeah.
Oh, one more fun fact I wanted to share is that in some regions of Albania, people, when they're building a house, will use garlic to ward off witches, or will put puppets in the house to collect evil.
Nice.
How
does a puppet collect evil?
They didn't say. I imagine it's a very special puppet. I don't know. But yeah, those are my fun facts about Strigas.
Cool.
All in all, I like this monster.
Yeah, I like it.
It was cool.
I loved learning about this monster. It was very neat.
I like
things.
Myths.
I like things that are similar to vampires but are not vampires.
Right.
Yeah. I like monsters that are like, these are the monsters we've heard of before, but they're not quite.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the Wolver.
It's like a new spin on something,
What?
you know?
The Wolver.
What is that?
Oh my gosh.
First of all, I don't even know her.
Okay.
Hey.
Second of all, what is a wolver?
Okay, so it is a Scottish werewolf.
Oh, yeah.
With the body of a man and the head of a wolf.
I remember.
Yes, I think I've talked about it before,
Yeah.
but just as a refresher. And in Shetland, he will leave fish on the windowsill of poor people's families so they won't starve.
That's adorable.
So fucking cute. I want to vomit.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
This episode was part me being like, duh, children, duh. But then the other part was me being like, so cute.
Yeah.
So cute.
I think we were having.
So I've had a good time.
Yeah.
we were having opposite reactions to this.
Pretty good
episode.
day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 It's a solid day.
Yeah. Solid day. So, any final thoughts, questions, concerns, comments, beliefs, hopes, dreams, messages from our Lord,
Just fallacies.
fallacies, misnomers, misanthropic people,
No,
malapropisms?
but we'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
Hey.
Ah.
I got kerosene
Hey.
in the car. I think. Are we ready to talk about the next episode?
I think we are.
Are we?
I believe it's called Provenance.
Provenance?
Yep.
What do you think's gonna happen, Travis?
Sam and Dean are going to meet a couple. And they're on honeymoon. And because they're in a resort. Because the resort is like haunted.
We talking beach, mountain?
I'll say mountain.
Okay.
Nice.
Because that would be easier to film in Vancouver.
It's true.
Sam and Dean are in like a mountain ski resort, and they meet this couple that are on their honeymoon, and they're like, "Oh, are you guys on your honeymoon too?" Because it's a gay joke.
Hey.
And
Sure. The show loves them. Continue. Oh, there was another one this episode.
there was a
Forgot
gay
to talk
joke
about.
this episode. It was great. But so Sam and Dean are at the ski resort, and they're like, "Oh, are y'all on your honeymoon too?" And they're like, oh, "Whatever." And then the people are they get sucked into a painting, and Sam and Dean have to use a vacuum cleaner to get them out of the painting.
Was this Luigi's Mansion?
Yeah, yeah. This was.
I was thinking The Witches by Roald Dahl.
Oh yeah.
Question.
Uh-huh.
I have a bonus question for you.
What's that?
We're coming up on the season finale.
We're coming up on the season finale.
Yeah.
Have you gotten any new information that makes you think like maybe something different is happening from what you've answered before?
What do you mean?
So
I
we've
give
answered
so
this
many.
question
I give so
before.
many fake answers.
Yeah,
that's
but I mean,
happening.
I want to seriously ask you what you think is going to happen
Okay.
next.
As far as the plot goes,
Yeah.
I think Sam and Dean are gonna be at a casino. Actually,
Travis, I will throw those cans at you. I will throw them at you.
no, Sam and Dean are probably gonna. They're probably gonna wind up meeting back up with John, and they will. And John will have new information about this thing that has done the thing. And then they're just gonna have to go on a quest to defeat it.
All right. Well, I don't know if that's going to happen,
Bullshit.
but if it does, we'll talk about it on Hey Assbutt.
Yeah. All right.
I had to throw that one out there. Come on. Jesus.
Thanks for listening. I'm Ari.
I'm Ben.
I'm Travis.
You can find us at Hey Assbutt
Hey, Assbutt.
podcast at gmail.com.
Yep.
Havecast at Instagram, Tumblr, and
Twitter.
And Twitter. And be sure to give us an iTunes review and rating, or Stitcher or Google Play. Rate and review. That's how.
Yeah. And subscribe.
And subscribe. It'll help other people find the show if you have already found it.
And if you like it.
Yeah, and if you like it, or if you don't like it, anything helps. But it just helps get that metadata out there.
Yeah.
It gets it out there to help other people find the show. So please help us out with that. I know it's been like 17 episodes, but in our time, in this timeline, we have only just started releasing episodes. So we're only just
We've
thinking
just
about
released episode 2.
it. Yeah. So please do that. Be our friend. Don't be our friend. We're assholes. That's it.
Have a good night. Day. Morning.
Time is up.
It's in the loop.
This is a terrible idea.
No, it's great. It's gonna be great. I'm
No,
gonna
it's
stack
so
these
bad.
cans. It's good. It's fine.
We did this at the cover top the other night.
Yeah, I like stacking cans.
God. I feel like I'm with Bob the Builder.
Yes. Please post that on the Habcast Instagram.
Oh yes.
Oh God!
I'm so glad it landed on you. I'm so glad.
All right, can you get the napkins?
No. No, I cannot.
Oh God damn it, Ben.
Ben just handed him a spoon. He just handed him a spoon. Oh my God. Oh, revenge feels so sweet.
Oh my God.
Today is great. Today is awesome. This is a good day.
Oh my God. It's all over my pants.
Oh.
That felt so good. That felt like a massage.
I'm glad I could water your crops for you.
That's hilarious. All right, what were we talking about?
The Striga.
The streak. Aftermath.
Yeah.